Phoenix Nights. Chapter 2266. It's not good to continue traveling in this weather. Let's find an island to take shelter. Lin Feng ordered his deity realm clone. The deity realm clone immediately changed direction and looked for an island where they could rest. Could it be that some terrifying existence is about to come into being? Lin Feng couldn't help but wonder. Soon, they stopped on a huge island. Lin Feng put the Xianyuan away and found a cave with Du Zhu and the heretic diviner saint to take shelter from the rain. The heavy rain obscured their line of sight, and visibility became extremely low. Lightning dragons and snakes swam about in the sky, emanating a monstrous divine might. It seems like a lightning tribulation, Du Zhu said. Lin Feng nodded and said, but if it's a lightning tribulation, it's really too powerful. I wonder what kind of expert is undergoing the tribulation. The heretic diviner saint said, there are many hidden experts in the overseas world. Many of them have heaven-defying cultivation bases, but no one knows about them. The heretic diviner saint's words coincided with Lin Feng's thoughts. The situation in the overseas world was indeed as the heretic diviner saint had said. Swoosh! Suddenly, a figure flew over from the ocean and entered the cave Lin Feng and the others had taken shelter in. It was a woman. After entering, she glanced at Lin Feng and the others. It's you! When she saw Lin Feng, she immediately cried out in alarm. Fairy wifey, it's you! Lin Feng grinned. Lin Feng had seen that little celestial girl in Thunder God City. She was a fairy born from a green lotus. She was a sacred spirit. Lin Feng hadn't thought he would meet little celestial here. Humph! She snorted and said, you're not allowed to call me fairy wifey. Otherwise I'll beat you up, said the little celestial girl, waving her fists and looking at Lin Feng ferociously. However, she didn't look threatening at all. Lin Feng grinned. All right. I won't call you that for now. I'll call you that when you become my wife. She couldn't help but roll her eyes at Lin Feng, but she didn't refute Lin Feng. What's your name? Lin Feng asked. She frowned and said, I don't have a name. She had been born from a green lotus, so it was quite normal for her to not have a name. Of course, what surprised Lin Feng the most was that after such a long time, she hadn't given him a name yet. Said Lin Feng. Do you want me to give you a name? All right, said Little Fairy, looking at Lin Feng with her big, sparkling eyes. Her eyes were pure and clean. They could calm one's heart with a single glance. Lin Feng said, we met in the sea today, and it's raining heavily. We're fated to be water and rain. Why don't we call you Shui Siyu? What do you think? Shui Siyu? Shui Siyu? Little Fairy muttered the name. A smile appeared on her face. Thank you, big brother, for giving me a name. I really like this name. I'll be called Shui Siyu from now on. Little Fairy said happily. Lin Feng smiled. As long as you like it. Little Fairy looked at Lin Feng and asked, what's your name, big brother? Lin Feng, you can call me Big Brother Feng from now on. Lin Feng said with a smile. Big Brother Feng. Little Fairy blushed and called out. Lin Feng smiled and asked, why did you come here? Little Fairy said, I walked around and looked around. I've been to many places. You're alone outside, so you have to be careful. In the martial arts world, people are sinister. Lin Feng reminded her. Little Fairy's beautiful eyes instantly curved into crescents. She said, Big brother, you don't have to worry about me. I can feel what you're thinking. What the? Lin Feng was shocked. What kind of ability was that? Wasn't it too scary? She could peek into other people's thoughts. If anyone had bad intentions towards Little Fairy, they definitely wouldn't be able to hide from her senses. Little Fairy said, if anyone has bad intentions towards me, I'll beat them to the ground with one punch. Little Fairy waved her fist as she spoke. Lin Feng was starting to wonder if his Little Fairy had violent tendencies. Little Fairy looked at Lin Feng with a giggle and said, but Big Brother Feng has never had bad intentions towards you. Big Brother Feng is a good person. Lin Feng couldn't help but sweat inwardly. Fortunately, he was a gentleman and wouldn't have any bad intentions. Otherwise, he might have already been beaten to the ground by Little Fairy with one punch. Boom, boom, boom! At that moment, the sound of thunder shook the heavens. Lightning bolts as thick as mountains came crashing down. The sky darkened, turning from day to night in an instant. When I came here earlier, I saw someone, Little Fairy said. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat, and he asked, "Who did you see?" Little Fairy said, "A very mysterious person. I've seen him before, and I vaguely heard others call him His Excellency." His Excellency? Lin Feng frowned slightly. This was the first time he'd heard of this name. However, since this person dared to call him His Excellency, it could be seen that this person was definitely not a simple character. Lin Feng said, "Is this His Excellency undergoing his tribulation here?" "I don't think so. I think he's refining a treasure," Little Fairy said. Poison Ancestor cried out. Refining a magic treasure can cause such a huge commotion. What kind of magic treasure is this guy refining? Little Fairy shook her head and said, "I don't know either. When I saw this person, I ran far away. He's too scary." As a sacred spirit, Little Fairy was innocent, but her strength was incomparably terrifying. She was so powerful that Lin Feng couldn't even tell what her current cultivation level was. To be able to make Little Fairy so wary, it was clear how powerful this His Excellency was. Rumble, rumble, lightning bolts came crashing down from the sky one after another. Between heaven and earth, not a sound could be heard. Only the lightning bolts descended. They became the only thing in the world, as if they wanted to destroy the entire world. Over 3,000 lightning bolts came crashing down. Only then did the tribulation dissipate. F***CK. What kind of treasure is so freakish that it can actually attract over 3,000 lightning bolts? Duzu cried out in shock. Lin Feng muttered, "It can't be some sort of primordial killing weapon, right?" At that moment, a man walked over from afar. He stepped forward in the void. The man was shrouded in darkness, and his appearance couldn't be seen clearly. However, the aura emanating from his body was suffocating. Little Fairy made a shushing gesture. She hurriedly retracted her aura. Lin Feng, Duzu, and the heretic holiness sage retracted their auras as well. Only after the mysterious man left did they let out a long sigh of relief. That man just now was simply too terrifying. Chapter 2267. "He's the legendary Venerable One," Little Fairy said with lingering fear after the man left. Duzu took a deep breath and said, "That guy's cultivation is too terrifying." For someone as fearless as Duzu to say something like that, it was obvious how powerful the Venerable One was. "This world is really full of experts," Lin Feng sighed. He then looked at Little Fairy and asked, "See you, where do you plan to go?" "I heard that the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom is holding an overseas insect exchange. I want to go and take a look," Little Fairy said. "Insect exchange? What kind of exchange is that?" Lin Feng asked in surprise. "It's said that it's the most popular gathering for cultivators who rear spiritual, poisonous, immortal, demonic, and other insects. At that time, many legendary insects will appear. If you're lucky, you might even be able to buy some powerful insects to cultivate. Moreover, you'll be able to buy all kinds of insect materials. Therefore, many cultivators who rear insects will choose to participate. Even if they don't buy other insects, they'll try their best to buy the materials they need," Little Fairy said. After hearing Little Fairy's explanation, Lin Feng's interest in the insect exchange was piqued. Lin Feng had two kinds of powerful insects. The first was the primordial ancestor insect. He had been cultivating it for a very long time and had thought that it would hatch soon. However, after such a long time, the primordial ancestor insect still hadn't hatched. It seemed that if he wanted to hatch the primordial ancestor insect, he would need to find some precious insect materials to cultivate it. Apart from the primordial ancestor insect, Lin Feng had also obtained a primordial demon refining insect. The primordial ancestor insect was an insect with heaven-defying individual combat strength. As for the primordial demon refining insect, it was a terrifying swarm of insects. The primordial demon refining insect was already powerful enough. Once they formed a huge swarm, they would be even more terrifying. He would be able to create a world-destroying momentum. He would eat gods, devils, ghosts, immortals, and Buddhas. He would be able to eat gods, devils, ghosts, immortals, and Buddhas. This was the great desolate demon refining insect swarm. No matter how terrifying an expert was, they would be devoured by these great desolate demon refining insects. However, Lin Feng only had one mother worm at the moment. If he wanted the mother worm to lay eggs, he needed to find enough materials to cultivate the mother worm. Only by providing sufficient nutrients to the queen insect would they be able to survive. Only then could the queen insect lay new eggs. Therefore, Lin Feng was very interested in this insect path exchange. If he could obtain the insect materials he needed, it would not be difficult to cultivate the ancient ancestral insect and primitive demon refining insect swarms. Lin Feng said. I also plan to head to the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom to participate in the Insect Dao exchange. Why don't we go together? Sure. Little Fairy's beautiful big eyes curved into crescents. At this moment, the sky outside was once again clear and boundless. Lin Feng brought out the ancient starship Xianyuan. The four of them boarded the ancient starry sky ship Xianyuan. Then, the ancient starship set off for the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom was the number one power in the Dark Ocean realm. Experts were as common as clouds. The last time he came to the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom, it was because Fairy Clear Snow wanted to step on the ancient starry sky path to the Undying Realm. The news spread like wildfire, so Lin Feng came to the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom to pay his respects to Fairy Clear Snow. 10 days later, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom appeared in his sight. Little Fairy said, I've long heard that a fairy sister was born from an immortal lotus. She stepped on the ancient starry sky path from the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and headed to the Undying Realm. It's a pity that I didn't get to meet her. Fairy Clear Snow was born from an immortal lotus and was also a holy spirit. As for Little Fairy, she was born from an immortal lotus and was also a holy spirit. Both of them had the temperament of someone who could rise from the mud without being stained. The only difference was that the lotuses that gave birth to them were different. Lin Feng asked, What kind of lotus can give birth to a holy spirit like you? Little Fairy said, It takes root in the world's origin energy and absorbs its energy. That's the prerequisite. Lin Feng said, That's the immortal root of heaven and earth. That's right. Lotuses like that aren't common, but when they appear, they can give birth to powerful holy spirits. Little Fairy said. Lin Feng put away the Xianyuan ancient starship, and the four of them entered the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom's main city, the Dark Ocean Ancient Capital. As the largest gathering place of cultivators in the Dark Ocean, the Dark Ocean Ancient Capital was always bustling with activity. Now, the Insect Dao exchange was about to begin. It attracted even more cultivators, so the Dark Ocean Ancient Capital became even more lively. It's so lively here. Little Fairy looked around. Selling spirit origin bugs. They can help you find origin crystal veins. Selling evil-eyed demon queen bugs. They can be raised into a swarm with terrifying offensive power. With the help of these evil-eyed demon queen bugs, fighting those stronger than you is no longer a dream. Selling 8-armed scorpion bugs. These bugs are extremely poisonous. Once bitten, no matter how high your cultivation is, your soul will die. The streets were filled with incessant hawking. Many people were selling all kinds of bugs. Lin Feng hadn't even heard of many of these bugs, so he gained a lot of knowledge. There were several times when Lin Feng couldn't help but want to buy some bugs, but Little Fairy stopped him. The bugs these vendors are selling are all lies. They're not as powerful as they say, Little Fairy said. Little Fairy was able to see what others were thinking. Therefore, the vendors couldn't hide their thoughts from Little Fairy. They might be able to deceive many cultivators who didn't know much about the Insect Dao. However, they couldn't deceive Little Fairy. Boom! A violent shock wave came from the distance. Many people were alarmed and looked over. There were cultivators fighting in the distance. Tens of cultivators had surrounded a cultivator shrouded in black robes. "Let's go and take a look! They're about to fight!" Many cultivators shouted. It was human nature to watch a show. Therefore, many people rushed over when they saw that there was a show to watch. "Let's go and take a look!" Little Fairy said excitedly. Clearly, she was also very interested in watching a show. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign sage followed. "The poison immortal sect is here to do something. Unrelated people should quickly back off. Otherwise, don't blame us for not warning you if we accidentally kill you." Seeing that many cultivators had gathered around to watch the show, a blue-clothed cultivator immediately said coldly, "What? The poison immortal sect? Hurry up and back off." Many people paled when they heard the words poison immortal sect. They quickly backed off as if they were avoiding snakes and scorpions. Chapter 2268. Poison immortal sect? Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. He had never heard of this faction before, but seeing how these people were scared out of their wits after hearing the name, he knew that this faction was definitely not simple. It was very likely to be an extremely terrifying faction. Lin Feng, Little Fairy Du Zhu, and Evil Sovereign Saint did not get too close. They were watching the show from the periphery. Seeing the surrounding cultivators retreat, the poison immortal sect's cultivators were clearly pleased. Many people did not know much about the poison immortal sect, so some cultivators asked the cultivators around them what kind of faction it was. A poison immortal sect cultivator said, "It's a hidden sect that belongs to the evil faction. It's very powerful and is most proficient in using poison. They rear all kinds of poisonous insects." "How is it compared to the Gu Evil sect?" someone asked. The Gu Evil sect was an evil faction that was quite famous. It was very proficient in rearing all kinds of poisonous insects. The Gu Evil sect is nothing in front of the poison immortal sect. Although the poison immortal sect is not as famous as the Gu Evil sect, that's because they keep a low profile. In terms of strength, the poison immortal sect is many times stronger than the Gu Evil sect. This poison immortal sect is so powerful. Lin Feng also heard some of the discussions around him. So this poison immortal sect was a sect that reared insects, and was proficient in using poison. Few people dared to provoke such a faction. This was because such a faction could kill without a sound. Once provoked, there was an 80% chance of ending up in a bad situation. Now that the poison immortal sect's cultivators were making a move, it was inevitable that they would use poison. That was why everyone retreated like they were avoiding snakes and scorpions. They did not want to be caught in the crossfire. "Hand over that item and we'll give you a quick death. Otherwise, we'll make you suffer a fate worse than death," the blue-robed poison immortal sect cultivator said coldly. "What item?" Many people looked at each other in dismay. They couldn't help but reveal their interest. A treasure that could catch the attention of the poison immortal sect was definitely a great treasure. However, the people of the poison immortal sect obviously didn't intend to reveal what kind of treasure it was in front of everyone. And the mysterious person shrouded in a black robe didn't intend to reveal it either. Therefore, even though many people wanted to know what kind of treasure it was, they didn't know what it was. However, no one told them, so they could only guess what kind of treasure it was. "If you want it, feel free to try. If you have the ability, then the treasure will naturally be yours. If you don't, then all of you will die in my hands today," a hoarse voice came out. This voice was very unpleasant to the ears, like the mournful cry of an owl. It was very ear-piercing. It was unknown if this mysterious person's voice was originally like this, or if this person had deliberately altered his voice. "Since you don't know the difference between life and death, we'll send you to the Western Paradise today," the blue-clothed cultivator shouted coldly. This group of people from Poison Immortal sect clearly viewed him as their leader. Boom! A group of people besieged the black-clothed cultivator. Colorless poisonous smoke spread out and shrouded the black-clothed cultivator. "It's the five-colored poisonous smoke." Many people couldn't help but exclaim. Multicolored poison smoke. This was a terrifying and highly toxic poison. It was refined from the 5 poisons. There were many ways to refine the 5-colored poisonous smoke. Depending on the type of 5 poisons, the power of the 5-colored poisonous smoke would also be different. For a powerful sect like the Poison Immortal sect, the 5-colored poisonous smoke that they controlled was definitely extremely terrifying. Many people quickly retreated, afraid of being caught in the crossfire. Insignificant skill. Facing the 5-colored poisonous smoke, the black-clothed cultivator sneered with disdain. Whoosh! Then, he took a deep breath. All of the 5-colored poisonous smoke surged towards the black-robed cultivator, who then devoured all of it. Heavens, the 5-colored poisonous smoke is such a terrifying poison, but he swallowed it just like that. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Even the poison ancestor let out a cry of surprise. Obviously, Du Zhu was also quite surprised. Now it's my turn to attack, the black-robed cultivator said sinisterly. His wide black robe suddenly fluttered and a dense swarm of poisonous insects flew out. The poisonous insects landed on the faces of the cultivators. It was a 7-colored poisonous insect that looked like a ladybug. It emitted an evil power. 7-colored ladybug. Someone recognized the poisonous insect, and his expression became extremely solemn. The 7-colored ladybug was an extremely terrifying poisonous insect. It contained 7 different poisons. Once bitten by the 7-colored ladybug, the 7 different poisons would enter the victim's body from the wound and the victim's body would quickly fester. This poisonous insect was extremely rare and difficult to cultivate. It hadn't appeared for many years. But now, everyone saw the 7-colored ladybug again. Ah! The group of people let out shrill screams. They reached out to grab the poisonous insects on their faces. Bang! But in the next moment, the cultivators of the Poison Immortal sect fell to the ground and died. Come back. The black-clothed cultivator reached out a pale hand and waved at the poisonous insects. All the poisonous insects flew back. Then, he left into the distance. He didn't even take the storage rings of the dead cultivators of the Poison Immortal sect. It was as if he disdained to take them. The storage ring is mine! Many people shouted loudly and pounced over. The black-clothed cultivator didn't care about the storage rings of the Poison Immortal sect cultivators. But in the eyes of the other cultivators, the storage rings of the dead cultivators of the Poison Immortal sect were definitely worth fighting for. Lin Feng looked at Du Zhu and said, "What do you think that person's level is? He's an expert in using poison. He's very scary. Also, I feel that he has more than one type of poisonous insect on him. It seems like there are even more terrifying ones that he hasn't released yet," Du Zhu said. Lin Feng nodded and found an inn with Little Fairy, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign sage to rest. They rented a small courtyard in a high-end inn's Biyuan district. After resting for a day, Lin Feng planned to go to Insect City to take a look. At night, Du Zhu grinned and said, "The Dark Ocean ancient capital has many exotic places. Why don't we go and have some fun tonight?" The big zombie said coldly. "Not going." Du Zhu pursed his lips and said, "I didn't invite you. I invited young master to have some fun together. As for you, you can go wherever you want. I don't care what you do." Chapter 2269. The Dark Sea ancient capital is a city that never sleeps. There are indeed many decent brothels here. Lin Feng smiled. He wasn't a pure and simple person. On the contrary, Lin Feng was a very open person. When it was time to cultivate, he was more hardworking than anyone else. When it was time to relax, he was more relaxed than anyone else. "Then let's go now," Du Zhu said impatiently. Lin Feng nodded and walked out with Du Zhu. The heretic sovereign sage followed them. Du Zhu said, "Didn't you say you weren't going? Why are you following us now?" "To protect Master," the heretic sovereign sage said. Du Zhu rolled his eyes and cursed. "Shameless bastard. If you want to go, then go. Stop looking for excuses. I think you're the most shameless among us." The heretic sovereign sage knew that even 10 of him wouldn't be a match for Du Zhu when it came to talking, so he ignored Du Zhu. The poison ancestor was annoyed, so he didn't say anything else. Instead, he started talking to Lin Feng about where they should go. "What are you going to do?" asked Little Celestial when she saw Lin Feng and the others come out. "We're going to drink," Lin Feng said. "Then I want to go too," Little Fairy said excitedly. Du Zhu said, "That kind of place isn't suitable for you. Girls should sleep early. That way, your skin will be better and prettier. You should stay here and sleep," Little Fairy said with a smile. "Are you going to do some shady business? That's why you're not bringing me along." At this moment, Du Zhu remembered that Little Fairy could read other people's thoughts. Du Zhu swallowed the words he was about to blurt out. Lin Feng said, "Of course not. We're just going to drink. If you want to come, you can come with us. Big Brother Feng is the best." Little Fairy giggled. With Little Fairy in the group, they naturally couldn't go to the brothels. Instead, they went to the Myriad Flower Building. This place was more formal. Lin Gongzi. As soon as he entered the Myriad Flower Building, he heard someone calling out to him. Lin Feng turned his head and saw a beautiful woman walking over. Northern Fairy Court. Lin Feng had a rather deep impression of this woman. The last time he came to the Dark Sea ancient capital, he had some interactions with this woman. On the surface, this woman was the owner of the Monarch Gazing Restaurant, an extremely famous restaurant in the Dark Sea ancient capital. But behind the scenes, there were obviously some extraordinary identities. It was just that Lin Feng didn't know the identity behind the Northern Fairy Court. "So it's Fairy from the Immortal Park. I didn't think that I would meet Fairy here." Lin Feng smiled and cupped his fists. He didn't have a deep relationship with the Northern Fairy Garden. At most, they were just acquaintances. "Ha ha ha ha, maybe this is fate." Northern Fairy Yuan giggled as she stared at Lin Feng. No one knew what she was thinking. Lin Feng smiled and said, "It's my honor to be able to meet you, celestial being. You really know how to talk, young master." Northern Fairy Yuan giggled and said, "Tomorrow, some good things will appear in the insect market. I wonder if young master has the time to accompany me to take a look? How could I dare to refuse Fairy's invitation?" Lin Feng smiled and said. Northern Fairy Yuan revealed a beautiful smile and said, "Then I won't disturb young master's gathering with your friends. I'll take my leave." Northern Fairy Yuan bowed as she said that. Then she left. After Northern Fairy Yuan left, Du Zhu grinned and said, "Young master really loves everyone. Casting a wide net, catching fish diligently. You have a confidant everywhere." Lin Feng said, "That woman can't be considered a confidant. She's very mysterious." Lin Feng knew very little about the Northern Celestial Court. So, he didn't talk too much about her. Little Fairy said, "This big sister seems to be plotting against Big Brother Feng. Big Brother Feng, you have to be careful." "Plotting against me? How is she plotting against me?" Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. "I don't know. I wanted to investigate carefully, but there was a mysterious force that prevented me from probing into the depths of her heart," Little Fairy said. Lin Feng couldn't help but rub his chin. He wasn't familiar with Northern Fairy Yuan. They didn't have much interaction with each other. He really couldn't understand what Northern Fairy Yuan was plotting against him. Lin Feng had always been an optimistic person. He wouldn't be troubled by things he didn't understand. Soon, he threw this matter to the back of his mind. Since he knew Northern Fairy Yuan was plotting against him, he had to be careful. He just had to be on guard against her. With his abilities, he had to be careful. It wasn't particularly difficult to guard against her schemes. Late at night, the four returned. The next day, Northern Fairy Yuan sent someone to pick up Lin Feng. Lin Feng, Little Fairy Du Zhu, the heretic sovereign sage, and Lin Feng arrived at June Gazing Pavilion in a beast carriage. After seeing Northern Fairy Yuan, Lin Feng said, "Fairy, you wouldn't mind if I brought a few friends with me, right?" Northern Fairy Yuan smiled. "Of course not. Young master's friends are my friends." Northern Fairy Yuan was very good at winning over people's hearts. With just a few words, she was able to close the relationship between two parties. However, Lin Feng already knew that Northern Fairy Yuan was plotting against him. Thus, Lin Feng was feigning civility with Northern Fairy Yuan on the surface, but he was secretly on guard against her. He smiled and said, "When should we depart?" "Let's depart now," Northern Fairy Yuan said. The group set off for Insect City. Insect City was located northwest of the Nether Ocean ancient capital. Right now, the insect market was very lively. One could see many shops and stalls here. Some of these shops and stalls sold all kinds of insect eggs and mother insects. There were also many stalls selling insect materials. "Young master, are you rearing insects?" Northern Fairy Yuan asked. Lin Feng said, "Yes, I'm rearing some insects. I'm looking for some insect materials." "May I know what kind of insects you're rearing?" Northern Fairy Yuan asked. Lin Feng did not hide anything. "An archaic ancestral insect egg. It's about to hatch, but I feel like it's still lacking. There's also a great desolate demon refining insect queen." Northern Fairy Yuan was shocked. These two types of insects are not simple. The insect materials required to rearing them are extremely difficult to find. "Fairy, you seem to be very familiar with this place. Do you know where I can buy such insect materials?" Lin Feng asked. "Young master, come with me. Perhaps you can find them there," Northern Fairy Yuan said. "Thank you very much for showing me the way," said Lin Feng. The group headed toward the place Northern Fairy Yuan had mentioned. Finally, Northern Fairy Yuan stopped in front of a huge palace. The words Nether Ocean Ancient Insect Palace were written on the palace. "This place is backed by the imperial family of the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom, so there are many good things for sale," Northern Fairy Yuan said. Lin Feng nodded. The group entered the palace. Just as they entered, a cultivator walked in. When he saw the cultivator, Lin Feng was slightly surprised. The cultivator who had entered was the mysterious black-robed cultivator who had killed the cultivators from the Poison Immortal sect earlier. The black-robed cultivator seemed to sense something and looked at Lin Feng. His eyes met with Lin Feng's. The black-robed cultivator looked deeply at Lin Feng, then retracted his gaze and walked deeper into the palace. Chapter 2270. "Lin Gongzi, do you know that person?" Northern Fairy Garden smiled and asked Lin Feng. Lin Feng shook his head. "I don't know him. But I've seen him before." Northern Fairy Garden smiled. "That person's background is not simple. I'd like to hear the details." Lin Feng looked at Northern Fairy Garden. Northern Fairy Garden chuckled and said, "This is a secret. How can I reveal it so casually? If young master wants to know, then wait for us to return to the June Gazing Pavilion. Just the two of us, then we can discuss this matter." Lin Feng laughed coldly in his heart. He did not know what Northern Fairy Garden was up to. However, he was confident in his skills and was not afraid that the Northern Fairy Garden would plot against him. Lin Feng smiled and said, "All right, it'll be just the two of us. We can talk and do whatever we want without anyone knowing." The Northern Fairy Garden laughed and said, "Yesterday, I told you that there would be some good stuff for sale today. The place where the good stuff will be sold is in the ancient worm palace of the Dark Sea. When the time comes, I will bring you there to take a look. Maybe there will be something that you like. But before that, let's see if we can buy some insect materials that you need. Please follow me." "Thank you for leading the way, Fairy Garden," Lin Feng said with a smile. Northern Fairy Garden laughed and said, "Young master, you don't have to be so polite. Otherwise, I'll get angry," said Lin Feng smiling. He didn't reply to Bei Xian Yuan. Bei Xian Yuan's words were ambiguous. Lin Feng had no intention of flirting with this woman. Under Northern Fairy Garden's lead, Lin Feng arrived at the 4th floor and met an elder in the ancient worm palace of the Netherworld Ocean. This elder was called Lu Jianzhong. Lin Feng took out a piece of paper from the Northern Celestial Yuan and took out a piece of paper. There were more than 10 insect materials written on the paper. They were all used to cultivate Archean insect eggs and primitive demon refining insects. Blood jade dew, Chilean immortal grass, Tao's spiritual fruit. Lu Jianzhong looked at the dozen insect materials listed on the list and frowned slightly. Elder Lu, do you not have any of these insect materials here? Northern Xianyuan asked. Lu Jianzhong said. These insect materials are very precious. Originally there were some, but a lot of them were bought during this time. Now, there are only 2 kinds of insect materials left in the treasury. Lin Feng was slightly disappointed, but being able to collect 2 kinds of insect materials was already a good harvest. He said, I'll have to trouble Elder Lu to bring these insect materials here. Lin Gongzi, wait a moment. I'll go look for it. Lu Jianzhong smiled, then got up and left. About an hour later, Lu Jianzhong returned. Lin Gongzi, these are the remaining 2 insect materials in the treasury. They are blood jade dew and spirit breath fruit. As Lu Jianzhong spoke, he took out 2 kinds of insect materials. Blood jade dew was a type of dew that was blood-colored. It was used to nurture archaic ancestral insect eggs. The spiritual breath fruit was a type of fruit. It was used to nurture archaic demon-refining insects. Lu Jianzhong took out a total of 3 bottles of blood jade dew and 10 spirit breath fruits. Although there were not many things, they were extremely expensive. Lin Feng paid a total of 1.72 million origin crystals. I'll have to trouble Elder Lu to continue to inquire about these insect materials. If they arrive, please inform me as soon as possible. I'll definitely buy them at a high price. Lin Feng said. Lin Gongzi, don't worry. If they arrive, I'll definitely inform Lin Gongzi. Lu Jianzhong said with a smile. He liked doing business with people like Lin Feng the most. Doing business with others. Many people like to haggle. Lin Feng, on the other hand, was rich and imposing. There was no haggling at all. This made Lu Jianzhong have a very good impression of Lin Feng. Thank you, Elder Lu. Lin Feng cupped his fists. Elder Lu, we still have to go up to the trade fair. We won't stay here for long. Northern Xianyuan said with a smile. I'll send you off. Elder Lu said. After leaving Elder Lu's place, Lin Feng and the others headed to the 7th floor. The trade fair's destination was the 7th floor. It seems that these things are far from what you need, young master. Northern Xianyuan said. Lin Feng nodded and said, if there were 10 times more things, the ancestral insect eggs might be able to hatch, and the great desolate demon-refining insect queen might start laying eggs again. However, these materials are extremely rare, and it's not easy to find them. Perhaps they'll be available at the trade fair. Northern Xianyuan said. Lin Feng nodded. I hope so. The group arrived at the trade fair on the 7th floor. This trade fair's standards were extremely high, and not just anyone could participate. However, with Northern Xianyuan around, Lin Feng and the others were able to smoothly enter the trade fair. There were about 1,000 people in the trade fair. Everyone was scattered throughout the hall. Many people took out the things they wanted to trade. Then, they placed them in front of them. If they took a liking to something, they could negotiate. Are those ancient god-eater insect eggs? Du Zhu pointed at a stall with some insect eggs. The ancient god-eater insect was one of the top 10 ancestral insects. It was said that these insects fed on gods. That was why they were called god-eater insects. Lin Feng and the others walked over and asked around. Sure enough, they were ancient god-eater insect eggs. What would you like to trade? Du Zhu asked. He seemed very interested in the ancient god-eater insect eggs. The stall owner said, I need 3 flame fiend hearts. Flame fiend hearts? Could it be the heart of an ancient flame fiend? Du Zhu frowned and asked. Ancient flame fiends were known as divine beasts of fire born from flames. Flame fiends looked like scorpions that had been enlarged tens of thousands of times. However, the flame demon had wings, and its entire body was a fiery red color, wreathed in flames. These divine beasts of fire were extremely powerful and evil. After the end of the primordial era, they had never appeared again. It was unknown whether or not their race had been wiped out. That's right. They're ancient flame fiends' hearts. The stall owner nodded. I don't have flame fiend hearts, but I have many other treasures. Perhaps I can use them to trade for your ancient god-eater insect eggs, Duzu said. Sorry, I only want the flame fiend hearts, the stall owner said. Then, he narrowed his eyes and stopped talking to Duzu. Lin Feng said, Let's go to the other stalls to take a look. The few of them walked toward the other stalls. Northern Fairy Yuan said, These people usually barter. If they can't find something they like, they won't trade with others. Lin Feng and the others knew this as well. Everyone nodded. Everyone, I would like to sell an Emperor Archaic insect egg. I wonder if anyone can afford it? At this moment, a cultivator spoke. His words caused a huge commotion. Chapter 2271. The Emperor Archaic was a legendary existence. An adult Emperor Archaic could even fight against a great emperor. There were even rumors that the primordial Emperor Butterfly had once killed a great emperor with a flap of its wings. From this, it could be seen how terrifying the Emperor Archaic was. The strength of such a being was unimaginable and shocking. Lin Feng had heard of the Emperor Archaic countless times. In the long years, the Emperor Archaic had only appeared a few times. Every time he appeared, it would cause a huge commotion. It was because of this that the Emperor Archaic was remembered by the world. The Emperor Archaic's strength was deeply ingrained in people's hearts. Even though the number of times the primordial Emperor Butterfly appeared was extremely few, every time the name of the primordial Emperor Butterfly appeared, everyone would feel a bone-chilling feeling in their hearts. This was because such a being was too terrifying. Now, someone was actually selling the Emperor Archaic's beast egg. This made everyone feel incredulous. Is this person crazy? He's not hatching the Emperor Archaic's egg himself and is actually selling it. He probably hatched it for a long time without success. For a heaven-defying being like the Emperor Archaic, hatching it would be extremely difficult. Yeah, how could such a terrifying being be hatched so easily? It would probably consume countless precious insect materials. Normal people wouldn't be able to afford such a huge consumption. Many cultivators were discussing spiritedly as they looked at the beast egg in the cultivator's hand with shining eyes. The beast egg was sealed in a transparent glass bottle. The beast egg was about the size of a thumb and had a golden luster. It was surrounded by countless runes. Is that the Emperor Archaic's beast egg? After seeing the beast egg, Lin Feng's eyes lit up. He really wanted to rush up and snatch the Emperor Archaic's beast egg from the cultivator's hand. Such a treasure. It was enough to make anyone go crazy. Fellow Taoists, what are you planning to exchange the Emperor Archaic's beast egg for? Someone asked aloud. Everyone, you can bid. The highest bidder will get it. I don't have much interest in cultivating insects. If you have any other treasures, you can take them out and bid, the cultivator said indifferently. The cultivator wore a long green robe and had a square face. He had a scholarly aura and looked like a well-read scholar. Nature energy! Lin Feng was surprised. He had indeed sensed the vital energy of righteousness from that cultivator's body. Righteous energy was the power cultivated by Confucian cultivators. Confucian Taoist cultivators were relatively rare. Lin Feng and Ning Xiucai were rather familiar with each other. The old Xiucai had been studying for 80 years. Although he had never cultivated before, he had an aura of righteousness around him. At the age of 84, he directly went through the tribulation to become a God realm expert. It was truly amazing how extraordinary the path of Confucianism was. However, Lin Feng had not seen elementary scholar Ning for many years. When he had returned to the Tianwu continent, he had heard that elementary scholar Ning had come to the 9 prefectures. However, the land of the 9 prefectures was vast and boundless. It was simply too difficult to find a single person. I bid 10 pieces of sun gold essence. Soon, a cultivator shouted out his bid. Sun gold essence was a supreme divine material born from the sun. It was said that it could be forged into an emperor weapon. I bid 15 pieces of star-setting moon iron. Immediately after, another cultivator shouted out his bid. I bid a set of giant divine soldier-level equipment. There are a total of 13 pieces of various magic treasures. I bid a boundary emperor weapon. I bid one of the top 20 great Tao of the 3,000 great Tao. I bid an emperor technique. More and more people participated in the bidding. The price also rose. There was no lack of rich cultivators here, and the treasures they took out were also varied. Many of the treasures were extremely precious. Lin Feng was a little moved. Many people had put in a lot of effort to get this Emperor Archaic Egg. I'll offer a damaged monarch weapon. Perhaps there is a chance to repair it, the black-robed cultivator said aloud. As soon as he said that, the entire trading hall became silent. Although the Emperor weapon was broken, it was still an Emperor weapon. It was not something that could be casually compared to any magic treasure. A broken Emperor weapon. There was indeed a day when it could be repaired. Once it was repaired, it would become a true Emperor weapon. At that time, it would still be incomparably heaven-defying. Who would take out such a treasure? Who would be willing to take it out? The black-robed cultivator did not hesitate to take it out. Lin Feng had a very deep impression of this person. Previously, when he killed a group of experts from the Poison Immortal sect, this black-robed cultivator displayed a very terrifying ability. Is there anyone else who wants to trade with me? The Confucian expert asked. For a moment, no one in the trading hall made another bid. I bid 4 divine abilities, Lin Feng said. The Confucian cultivator looked at Lin Feng and asked, What divine abilities? Lin Feng said. These 4 divine abilities are one of the 3,000 Great Tao and 3 Emperor techniques. The Great Disaster technique is ranked 9th among the 3,000 Great Tao. The 3 Emperor techniques are the 4-armed Sacred Demon Fist, 9 slashes of the Demon Emperor, the 10,000 Demon Reincarnation Fist, Hiss. The Great Disaster technique is ranked 9th among the 3,000 Great Tao and 3 Emperor techniques. Who is this young cultivator? His moves are extraordinary. Many people could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Everyone looked at Lin Feng and guessed Lin Feng's identity. I've been trying to cultivate both Confucian and demonic recently, so I can use these 3 demonic emperor techniques. The Great Disaster technique is a divine ability that everyone dreams of. Not bad. Not bad. The Confucian cultivator nodded in satisfaction. The black-robed cultivator said, How can a few great Tao compare to my Emperor weapon? Even if the Emperor weapon is broken, its value is far greater than a few great Tao. The Confucian cultivator said, Your Emperor weapon is naturally precious, but I don't lack powerful protective treasures. No matter how good your Emperor weapon is, it's not destined for me. Humph. Hearing the Confucian cultivator's words, the black-robed cultivator could not help but snort coldly. His expression was indifferent, but he did not say anything else. Young man, I'll trade with you, the Confucian cultivator said. Lin Feng took out a jade tube and said, The cultivation methods of the 4 great Tao are recorded in this jade tube. Please take a closer look. The Confucian cultivator said, The Emperor Archaic Egg is here. Please take a look. Both sides exchanged items. Lin Feng mainly checked if the Emperor Archaic Egg was still alive. The Confucian cultivator checked if the cultivation methods of the 4 great Tao were broken. Both sides checked and found that there were no problems, so they smiled. No problem, the Confucian cultivator said with a smile. I have no problem here either. Lin Feng smiled. Chapter 2272. Congratulations, young master, for obtaining the Emperor Archaic Egg. Congratulations, master, for obtaining the Emperor Archaic Egg. Congratulations, big brother Feng, for obtaining the Emperor Archaic Egg. Du Zhu, the evil sovereign sage, and little fairy all thanked Lin Feng. They were sincerely happy for Lin Feng. He, Xian Yuan also congratulates young master for obtaining the Emperor Archaic Egg. Northern Xian Yuan said with a charming smile. Haha, I still have to thank fairy for bringing me here. Otherwise, how could I obtain the Emperor Archaic Egg? Lin Feng said with a smile. The Emperor Archaic was a terrifying existence that could kill great emperors. To be able to obtain the Emperor Archaic egg, Lin Feng was naturally very excited. Now, Lin Feng already had the Archaic Ancestral Worm Egg, the Chaos Demon Refining Insect Queen, and now he had obtained the Emperor Archaic Egg. Once the Archaic Ancestral Worm, the Emperor Archaic, and the Chaos Demon Refining Insect Swarm hatch successfully, when the time comes, they will form an insect army. Wouldn't they be able to kill anyone in their way? If anyone dares to blindly jump around in front of him, he wouldn't even have to do anything. He could just summon the insect swarm and take the opponent's life. Northern Xianyuan said with a charming smile. If young master really wants to thank me, then when we are alone later, young master will have to perform well. Northern Xianyuan's words were very flirtatious. But Lin Feng only laughed it off. Lin Feng said with a smile. When the time comes, I will definitely follow Fairy's wishes. Then it's a deal. Northern Xianyuan winked at Lin Feng. After the Emperor Archaic Egg transaction was completed, the trading hall returned to normal. Cultivators gathered in groups of 2s and 3s, discussing the price of the insect eggs, insect queen, or insect materials that they wanted to purchase. Lin Feng noticed that the black-robed cultivator would occasionally glance in his direction with a cold glint in his eyes. Clearly, the black-robed cultivator was still brooding over what happened earlier. However, Lin Feng did not care about what the black-robed cultivator was thinking. It was fine as long as this person didn't provoke him. If he dared to provoke him, would he be afraid of him? Now, Lin Feng had extraordinary means, and he also had a pseudo-emperor level puppet. Unless it was an extremely heaven-defying character, Lin Feng was not afraid of anyone. Lin Gongzi, come and take a look. Is this the heavenly orchid grass you want? Bei Xianyuan stood in front of a stall and waved at Lin Feng. Lin Feng walked over and found that the stall was indeed selling geraniums. This kind of heavenly orchid grass was a material used to cultivate the mother worms of demon refining insects of the Great Desolate Era. The effect was excellent. There were a total of 36 stalks. Lin Feng asked, What's the price for your heavenly orchid grass? The other party was a cultivator with an aura of death around him. He should be an evil cultivator. When he saw Lin Feng, he grinned. He had a deep impression of Lin Feng. Give me the Great Calamity technique, and the heavenly orchid grass is yours, the evil cultivator said. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. No matter how precious the heavenly orchid grass was, it was not worth mentioning compared to the Great Calamity technique. This guy was obviously trying to extort Lin Feng. Du Zhu rolled up his sleeves and said, You want to exchange a few stalks of grass for the Great Calamity technique? Do you believe that I won't punch you? I'll let you see a fist bigger than a sandbag. The evil cultivator said calmly. There are people from the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom maintaining order here. If you want to fight, I'm afraid you'll be thrown out. Lin Feng patted Du Zhu's shoulder, indicating that he didn't need to be angry with this person. It was not worth it. Let's take a look at the other stalls, Lin Feng said. He turned and walked towards the other stalls. Seeing that Lin Feng was about to leave, the evil cultivator immediately said, Why are you leaving so quickly? Everything can be discussed. I don't want to talk nonsense with you. The 4-armed sacred demon fist, the 9 slashes of the demon emperor, and the 10,000 demon reincarnation fist are very useful to evil cultivators like you. You can choose any one of these 3 emperor techniques, and the heavenly orchid grass is mine, Lin Feng said indifferently. The evil cultivator originally wanted to stop Lin Feng and exchange the heavenly orchid grass for Lin Feng's 3 emperor techniques. However, when he saw that Lin Feng was very firm and only wanted to exchange 1 emperor technique for the heavenly orchid grass, he felt a little depressed. However, he could only compromise in the end. This evil cultivator's instinct told him that if he made any new requests, the deal would end early. He could obtain 1 emperor technique of the demon Dao. In truth, the evil cultivator was quite satisfied with the result. Okay. I'll exchange it with you, the evil cultivator said. I want the 9 slashes of the demon emperor. No problem. Lin Feng nodded and took out a jade tube. After imprinting the 9 slashes of the Demon Emperor, he handed the jade tube to the evil cultivator. Lin Feng took 36 stalks of heavenly orchid grass. Everyone! I want to sell a queen insect. This queen insect is called the blue scorpion queen insect. It's a type of poisonous blue scorpion. Friends who are interested can bid. At this moment, another cultivator came to the middle of the transaction hall and shouted, Blue scorpion queen insect? That's a highly poisonous creature. It's said that 10 drops of blue scorpion queen insect's poison can kill a great emperor. So poisonous. Yes, this is a poisonous insect that only appeared in the chaotic ancient era. It's said that this poisonous insect came from the foreign realm. The foreign realm. Things are really scary. I'll offer a heavenly Tao origin crystal. I'll offer 3 heavenly dragon inner cores. After a short discussion, many cultivators started to participate in the bidding. In the end, the blue scorpion queen insect was bought by a mysterious woman wearing a veil. Lin Feng collected 2 more insect materials. They were fire snake crystal and dark demon spirit grass. Fire snake crystal was used to nurture immemorial ancestral insect eggs. Dark demon spirit grass was used to nurture desolate era's demon refining insect queen insect. Cultivating the primordial emperor butterfly's eggs also required many precious insect materials. However, Lin Feng was slightly disappointed that no insect materials for nurturing Emperor Archaic appeared in the transaction hall. The first day of the transaction hall ended. Everyone dispersed. Lin Feng looked at Du Zhu, evil sovereign sage, and little fairy and said, You guys can go back first. I will follow Fairy Yuan to June Pavilion. Little fairy winked at Lin Feng. Clearly, she was reminding Lin Feng to be careful of Northern Fairy Yuan. Lin Feng nodded without leaving any trace behind. Young master, you must have fun, Du Zhu said with a grin. His eyes swept back and forth between Lin Feng and Northern Fairy Yuan. Then, he let out a mischievous smile. Lin Feng merely kicked Du Zhu into the foreign realm. This fellow's personality was one of wanting to stir up trouble. Young master, let's go, Northern Fairy Yuan said and walked towards the beast carriage. Lin Feng followed behind Northern Fairy Yuan and boarded her beast carriage. They headed towards June Pavilion. Chapter 2273. On the 5th floor of June Gazing Pavilion, the sound of a zither could be heard. A group of beautiful dancers were dancing gracefully. Northern Fairy Yuan was playing the zither herself. The sound of the zither lingered in the air. It was beautiful. Lin Feng was enjoying the music as he drank. He had a smile on his face as he tried to guess why Northern Fairy Yuan had called him here. Since Little Fairy had sensed that this person was harboring ill intentions towards him, Lin Feng believed that Little Fairy's senses would not be wrong. However, Northern Fairy Yuan's performance was too perfect. Even if she wanted to deal with him, she did not show any hostility. Her tolerance. Lin Feng admired her. However, a fox's tail could not be hidden forever. There would be a time when it would be exposed, just like now. She might even expose her hidden intentions. Northern Fairy Yuan's zither music was very pleasant to the ears, and Lin Feng could not help but marvel at it. The zither music ended. The dancers stopped as well. The Northern Immortal Garden waved at the dancers. The dozen or so dancers quickly retreated. Young master, what do you think of the zither music just now? Northern Fairy Yuan asked with a smile. Lin Feng said, It was sweet and melodious. It made me feel as if I was in a charming environment with a small bridge and a bamboo forest. I also saw a beautiful fairy standing on the bridge. She looked like a fairy who had descended from the 9 heavens. She smiled at me. Young master, do you still remember what that fairy looked like? Northern Fairy Yuan asked with a smile. She was so far away yet so close. Lin Feng looked at Northern Fairy Yuan. Northern Fairy Yuan smiled and said, Young master, you only know how to make me happy. How can I compare to a fairy in your artistic conception? Lin Feng smiled and said, Fairy, you don't have to be so modest. Your beauty is enough to shock the world. Although I have never seen a fairy from the immortal world, I believe that there are very few fairies who are as beautiful as you. Northern Fairy Yuan said. Young master, you're praising me so well. Could it be that you're attracted to me? Lin Feng smiled and said, My ambition is to cultivate. I'm not interested in romantic relationships, so I'm sorry to disappoint you. Lin Feng could not help but blush when he said such untrue words. It seemed that he was not thick-skinned enough. He should have trained with Du Zhu more. Northern Fairy Yuan sighed and said, There are many beautiful sceneries on the path of cultivation. Young master, you can stop and admire them. Life is not just about cultivation. There are many things to do. Lin Feng smiled and said, But I'm interested in cultivation. Other things can hardly arouse my interest. Bei Xian Yuan looked even more sad. People who didn't know better would have thought that Lin Feng and Bei Xian Yuan were in love. Moreover, Northern Fairy Yuan's Young master, you have truly hurt this servant's heart, Northern Fairy Yuan said with tears in her eyes. Continue. Keep acting. Lin Feng laughed coldly in his heart. He did not believe Northern Fairy Yuan's pitiful expression at all. Women were born actresses. This saying was not false at all. Of course, Lin Feng did not express his thoughts. He had always been calm and collected. He did not appear too distant from Northern Fairy Yuan, but he also did not appear too close to her. I don't have the fortune to enjoy the grace of a beauty. I can only reject Fairy Yuan's kind intentions. I hope Fairy Yuan will be able to find a good home in the future, Lin Feng said. Northern Fairy Yuan rolled her eyes at Lin Feng and said, The future is long. Who knows how things will develop in the future? Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to work together in the future. Lin Feng smiled and said, If that day really comes, I will remember the conversation between you and me today. I will definitely remember it. After a pause, Lin Feng said, Fairy Yuan, you said you knew that black-robed cultivator. Can you tell me who he is? Northern Fairy Yuan said, That black-robed cultivator is not simple. He's from the Demon Severing Sect. Demon Severing Sect? What sect is that? Asked Lin Feng. He was surprised. Northern Fairy Yuan said, The Demon Severing Sect is a very ancient sect. This sect has a unique trait, which is that it only accepts one disciple in each generation. Lin Feng said in surprise, There's actually a sect like that? Aren't they afraid of losing their legacy? Northern Fairy Yuan said, Some of the older members of the Demon Severing Sect are still alive, so there's no need to worry about losing their legacy. If any of their disciples are killed, they can just find a new successor. Could that black-robed cultivator be the successor of the Demon Severing Sect's younger generation? Lin Feng could not help but ask. That person's methods were terrifying. Lin Feng's heart was pounding. Now that he thought about it, Lin Feng was extremely scared of that person. This sect is too mysterious, so outsiders don't know much about them. However, I do know that that person shouldn't be the successor of the younger generation. Northern Fairy Yuan said. Why do you say that? Lin Feng asked. About 7 or 8 years ago, the Severing Demon Sect was looking for a new generation of disciples. Usually, these disciples are 5 or 6 years old and have just started cultivating. Although they are still young, they are in the beginning stage. This stage is often very important. There's a saying that goes, victory at the starting line. Therefore, the disciples of the Severing Demon Sect are raised from a young age. If the Severing Demon Sect had found a new disciple 7 or 8 years ago, the current disciple of the Severing Demon Sect would be 13 or 14 years old, not that black-robed cultivator. Northern Fairy Yuan said. That makes sense. Lin Feng nodded. Northern Fairy Yuan continued. You took the Emperor Archaic's egg. Obviously, that black-robed cultivator is very unwilling to accept it, so you have to be careful. The Demon Severing Sect is very terrifying. As a demonic sect, their inheritances are the best. Apart from that, they're also very good at rearing insects. It's said that they're also very good at refining all kinds of poisons. Lin Feng said. You have to be careful of that person. Thank you for the warning, Fairy Yuan. Northern Fairy Yuan smiled. We're already so familiar with each other. You don't have to be so polite. Actually, I invited you here because I need your help with something else. Oh? What is it? Lin Feng asked calmly. He knew that Northern Fairy Yuan's foxtail was about to be exposed. She had bad intentions towards him. But how could it be so easy to get rid of him? She needed to create an opportunity for her to make a move. It's like this. I obtained a relic from the Moon Palace Fairy. This relic hides a huge secret. It vaguely leads me to a secret place. I know that you're proficient in formations, so I wanted to invite you to accompany me. Northern Fairy Yuan smiled. The goddess of the Northern Immortal Garden said with a smile. Her tone was filled with a hint of pleading. Her pitiful look was truly pitiful. Although she was naive, she understood the meaning behind Lin Feng's words. In the next few days, Lin Feng went to the insect market several times, but he couldn't find the insect materials he wanted. Little Fairy, on the other hand, had bought some insect eggs. She wanted to cultivate a batch of insects. Big Brother Feng, I have to go. One day, Little Fairy said to Lin Feng. Where are you going? Lin Feng asked. I want to go to the ancient demon continent because my roots are there, Little Fairy said. Ancient demon continent. One of the 9 provinces. It was the main base of the 9 provinces Yao clan. As for Little Fairy, she was born from the Green Lotus. From a certain perspective, she could indeed be considered a demon. Now, Little Fairy was going to the ancient demon continent to find her roots. That was reasonable. Lin Feng was reluctant to part with Little Fairy. Little Fairy waved her hand and smiled sweetly. Goodbye, Big Brother Feng. When we meet again, Big Brother Feng has to make a lot of delicious food for you. Lin Feng smiled. I guarantee you'll be very satisfied. After Lin Feng sent Little Fairy off, he decided to leave with Du Zhu, the heretic sovereign holy sage, and the next day, when they returned to their residence, they saw that the street was very crowded. It was so crowded that not even a drop of water could trickle through. The 3 of them walked over. After asking around, they learned that an old immortal had appeared in the ancient capital of the Dark Sea. This old immortal was not simple. He was good at divination. Many people who sought out this old immortal for divination had their wishes come true. It was said that even the imperial family of the Dark Sea divine nation had sought out this old immortal for divination. Could it be that we met an expert? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. The 8 trigrams technique, the 9 palaces technique. Of course, there were many other techniques. They could be used to divine many things. This old immortal seemed to be proficient in these arts. Divine, when will I become an emperor? Make way, make way. Poison Ancestor yelled loudly and then began to squeeze his way in. I want to ask, when will I become an immortal? Stop daydreaming! Many people curled their lips and said, You can't become an immortal, but I'll become an emperor sooner or later. Du Zhu said confidently. Your skin is thicker than the city walls. Many people curled their lips and said, The old immortal's divination can't be done for free. The rules are written here. If you want to seek out the old immortal for divination, you have to show enough sincerity. There's no free lunch in this world. A middle-aged cultivator stood in front of a shop and said. There was a signboard in front of the shop. The signboard was filled with words. Divination of marriage, 100,000 origin crystals. Divination of fate, 1 million origin crystals. Chapter 2275. Kid, why are you here? You're still alive? The old man could not help but jump when he saw Lin Feng. This old immortal was none other than Grandpa Martin, the old swindler that Lin Feng had met in the forbidden grounds of Tianhuang. You're not dead yet, so how can I die? Lin Feng said indifferently. Grandpa Martin rolled his eyes and said, Grandpa Martin has a long life ahead of him. Lin Feng said, You're going to swagger around like this? Didn't someone capture you and make you into a mink coat? Grandpa Martin put his hands behind his back and said calmly, Grandpa Martin is an old immortal. Who dares to offend an old immortal? Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. Old immortal? He was more like a swindler. Grandpa Martin glanced at Lin Feng and said, Your glabella is dark. I'm afraid a bloody calamity is about to befall you. Don't you have anything good to say? Lin Feng said unhappily. Grandpa Martin said meaningfully, Honest advice grates on the ear. Good medicine tastes bitter. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and carefully sized up Grandpa Martin. Sometimes, Lin Feng even felt that Grandpa Martin, this old swindler, had some extraordinary abilities. Divination might not be reliable. However, Grandpa Martin had stayed in the forbidden area of Heaven Wasteland for such a long time. Without a bit of strength, it was impossible for him to stay in there for so long without dying. Of course, the most important thing was that Grandpa Martin knew a lot of secrets. Lin Feng said, Since you're an old immortal, why don't you do a divination for me? Grandpa Martin immediately grinned. He stretched out his paw and patted a sign beside the table, saying, We may be close, but business is business. If you want a divination, everything has a price. Of course, as an old friend, I can give you a 20% discount, Lin Feng said. I want to find someone, Grandpa Martin said. Find someone for 8 million, 20% discount, 4 million. Lin Feng took out 4 million origin crystals and handed them to Grandpa Martin. For other people, 6,400,000 was an incredible amount of wealth, but for Lin Feng, it was just a drop in the ocean. If he could really obtain information about Dugiya, he would be willing to pay 4 million. Even if it was 64 million, it was still worth it. However, Lin Feng did not have confidence in Grandpa Martin, this old swindler, because he really could not see through Grandpa Martin. Previously, Lin Feng's impression of Grandpa Martin was that it liked to brag. Anyway, as long as he had the time, he would brag about how awesome he was. However, in reality, Lin Feng was able to send Grandpa Martin flying with a single palm strike. As for whether Grandpa Martin was outstanding in other aspects, Lin Feng was not sure. After all, he was not very familiar with Grandpa Martin. If you want to find out the whereabouts of someone, write their name on a piece of paper for me, Grandpa Martin said. Lin Feng wrote Dugiya's name on a piece of paper and handed it to Grandpa Martin. Grandpa Martin crumpled the piece of paper with Dugiya's name on it into a ball and threw it into a black jade tube. Then, it released a ball of flame. Whoosh! 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 The flame burned. The ball of paper turned into ashes in the blink of an eye. Urgent as the law commands, Grandpa Martin muttered mysteriously. Open the heaven's eye! His paw tapped on the jade tube, then he opened his eyes wide and looked at the jade tube. Grandpa Martin seemed to be very serious. It was as if he really did have some powerful abilities. How is it? Lin Feng asked. Grandpa Martin grinned and said, I've already done my calculations. You can rest assured that the Dugiya you're looking for is fine. He won't die. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes and say, I'm asking you where he is. Can you not give me an irrelevant answer? Grandpa Martin smiled embarrassedly and said, He is in the land of the 9 prefectures. Lin Feng rubbed his forehead. He already knew that Grandpa Martin was unreliable. Was this really a divination? Lin Feng curled his lips and said, Fine. Take that 6,400,000 gold coins as my treat. Grandpa Martin grinned and said, Kid, you're quite generous. Now that we're done with the divination, shouldn't we talk about the temple? Back then, Grandpa Martin had taught Lin Feng how to refine the 5-dragon wheel, and Lin Feng had promised to build a few temples for Grandpa Martin to worship him. Who knew that Grandpa Martin, a swindler, would see the divine servants appear? Afraid of getting Lin Feng into trouble, he did not warn Lin Feng and quietly slipped away. After Grandpa Martin slipped away, Lin Feng was blocked by the divine servants. Thus, Lin Feng had always thought that Grandpa Martin was a swindler. Grandpa Martin was just like his cheap master. However, since Lin Feng had promised Grandpa Martin to help him build a temple, he would not go back on his word. He said, Once I return to the Dragon Gate, I'll help you with this matter. Grandpa Martin immediately became happy and said with a smile, Kid, just based on the fact that you keep your word, Grandpa Martin thinks highly of you. You will definitely have a bright future. Ha ha ha, thank you for your praise. I still have things to do, so let's part ways here, Lin Feng said. Brat, you have water in your 5 elements. Too much water is a disaster. That's why there's a bloody disaster. If you listen to me, I advise you to leave the Netherworld Sea as soon as possible. Otherwise, you'll be in big trouble, Grandpa Martin said. Are you telling the truth? You're not tricking me? Lin Feng looked at Grandpa Martin seriously. Look at how scared you are. Grandpa Martin was just joking with you. Don't forget to build a temple for Grandpa Martin. Grandpa Martin grinned. Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with Grandpa Martin anymore. He left with Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign sage. TSK, this kid's money is really easy to earn. Grandpa Martin grinned. The next day, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign sage left the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom. They boarded the ancient starship Xianyuan and headed to Thunder Dragon Island. This was the Snake Empress headquarters. He wondered how the Snake Empress had been doing all these years. 5 days later, Lin Feng saw Thunder Dragon Island from afar. The surrounding 30 li of Thunder Dragon Island was covered in lightning. Thick bolts of lightning swam through the void. Even the Thunder Dragon Island was sealed by lightning. Many cultivators were patrolling around Thunder Dragon Island. Thunder Dragon Island's defenses were very tight. Snake Empress, why aren't you coming out to see me? Lin Feng sent out his divine will. The Snake Empress, who was in seclusion, suddenly opened her eyes. It's Master's voice. The Snake Empress opened her eyes, revealing an extremely shocked expression. She quickly flew out of her seclusion room. Greetings, Island Lord! Seeing the Snake Empress come out of seclusion, many cultivators on Thunder Dragon Island bowed to her. The Snake Empress didn't care about them and quickly flew out. Island Lord, why are you in such a hurry? Where are you going? Many people looked at each other in dismay. They followed the Snake Empress and flew out of the island. Chapter 2276. When the Snake Empress arrived outside the Thunder Dragon Island and saw a figure floating in the void in the distance, she immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. She quickly flew towards Lin Feng. She hurriedly bowed to Lin Feng. Master! When the other people on the Thunder Dragon Island heard how the Snake Empress addressed Lin Feng, they were all dumbfounded. The Snake Empress actually called that young cultivator her master? How was this possible? The famous Snake Empress was actually someone else's servant. This made everyone feel a sense of disbelief. Get up! Lin Feng said. Thank you, Master! The Snake Empress responded and got up. It's been hard on you to manage the forces in the Netherworld Sea all these years, Lin Feng said. It's Qin'er's fortune to be able to share Master's burden, the Snake Empress said. Qin'er was the Snake Empress's name, and not many people knew about it. As the Snake Empress's master, Lin Feng naturally knew about it. All right, let's go back to the Thunder Dragon Island to take a look, Lin Feng said. Master, please. The Snake Empress hurriedly said and then accompanied Lin Feng as they flew towards the Thunder Dragon Island. Yang Zhong, gather everyone above the level of Hall Master to the main hall, the Snake Empress said to a middle-aged cultivator. Yes. The middle-aged cultivator called Yang Zhong responded. Lin Feng arrived at the main hall accompanied by the Snake Empress. He sat on the main seat while the Snake Empress stood beside Lin Feng. Lin Feng said with a smile. It seems like your harvest is not small. You actually broke through to the giant god realm, the Snake Empress said. It's all thanks to the many natural treasures that Master left behind that I was able to break through. You can't break through to the giant god realm just by relying on natural treasures. The reason you can break through is because your comprehension is strong enough. This is the result of your own hard work, Lin Feng said. At this time, people entered the hall one after another. Everyone was slightly stunned when they saw Lin Feng. In particular, the island master, the Snake Empress, was now standing beside Lin Feng as if she was Lin Feng's maid. This caused everyone to feel shocked and moved. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Lin Feng was such a young cultivator, so how could he make the Snake Empress act so servile? Now that everyone is here, let me introduce the young master beside me. The man beside me is also my master. He's the disciple of Lord Turtle of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect and the sect leader of the Dragon Gate. He holds an army of 10 million cultivators. The Snake Queen began to introduce Lin Feng. In recent years, Lin Feng's reputation had gradually risen. It wasn't difficult for the Snake Empress to find out about Lin Feng's whereabouts. When he heard that the young master in front of him was Lin Feng, who had recently been the talk of the town, everyone was quite surprised. However, many people frowned slightly and didn't take Lin Feng seriously. Apart from the fact that he was the disciple of Lord Turtle, who was worth paying special attention to. As for the other identities, they dismissed them with a smile. For example, they didn't take Lin Feng's identity as the sect leader of the Dragon Gate seriously. To many people, Lin Feng's position as the sect leader of the Dragon Gate was just a puppet supported by the Reincarnation Immortal Sect. As for why Lin Feng was the Snake Queen's master, many people guessed that it might be because Lord Turtle, who was behind Lin Feng, suppressed the Snake Queen and forced her to recognize Lin Feng as her master. If it was Lin Feng who suppressed the Snake Queen, no one believed that. After all, Lin Feng was too young and pitifully weak in front of the Snake Queen. Come and greet Lin Gongzi. The Snake Queen's expression darkened when she saw that no one had any reaction. Yang Zhong hurriedly bowed to Lin Feng and said, Subordinate Yang Zhong greets Lin Gongzi. Lin Feng had some impression of this Yang Zhong. Previously, the Snake Queen had ordered this person to gather everyone. This person was very likely the Snake Queen's confidant. After Yang Zhong bowed to Lin Feng, then, more than 10 cultivators bowed to Lin Feng. However, there were still more than 20 people who stood still and didn't move. What is the meaning of this? The Snake Queen's expression turned ugly. A white-robed cultivator said, Island Lord! We are here to seek refuge with you, not this brat. The cultivator who spoke looked to be in his 30s. He was called the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord and was a cultivator of the Thousand-Eyed clan. Moreover, his cultivation level was even higher than the Snake Queen's. The Snake Queen was now at the first firmament of the Giant God Realm. The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord was at the third firmament of the Giant God Realm. The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord had sought refuge with the Snake Queen because he had always coveted her beauty. He wanted to subdue the Snake Queen. That was why he sought refuge with the Snake Queen. After joining the Lightning Dragon Island, the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord had gathered many experts because of his powerful cultivation level. He had expressed his intentions to the Snake Queen several times, but he had been rejected by the Snake Queen. Now that Lin Feng had appeared, the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord was not only unwilling to accept Lin Feng, but he also felt a strong sense of jealousy towards Lin Feng. Since Lin Feng was the Snake Queen's master, didn't that mean that the Snake Queen had already served him? Thinking of this, the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord had the urge to tear Lin Feng apart. Fortunately, he was still trying his best to control himself. Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord, don't go overboard. The Snake Queen looked at the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord with an ugly expression. At this moment, Lin Feng waved his hand, indicating for the Snake Queen to stop talking. Then, Lin Feng stood up. He looked at the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord and said, It seems that you are not convinced by me. The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord looked at Lin Feng with contempt and said, You should have some self-awareness. Lin Feng said indifferently, It seems that you are very confident in your cultivation level. At the very least, suppressing you will be as easy as flipping my hand. The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord looked at Lin Feng with contempt. Who else is not convinced by me? Lin Feng glanced coldly at the people below. The group of cultivators standing beside the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord looked at each other. Although they did not say anything, they did not distance themselves from the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord. Clearly, their actions had made their stance clear. Lin Feng said, Alright, since you are not convinced by me, I will give you a chance. I will take 7 steps. If you can stand still, you can continue to stay. Otherwise, you can leave the Lightning Dragon Island. Because you people lack something called loyalty. Humph. Who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant? The group of cultivators could not help but be angered by Lin Feng's contempt. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he took a step forward. He did not even release his qi. He only released his aura. Thump! 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 The cultivators could not withstand Lin Feng's aura. They all knelt on the ground. When Lin Feng took 3 steps, only the thousand-eyed evil lord remained kneeling. Even though the thousand-eyed evil lord was at the 3rd layer of the giant god realm, his face was turning paler and paler. Kneel! Lin Feng shouted. He took 3 steps forward. Thump! The thousand-eyed evil lord could no longer withstand the powerful aura emitted from Lin Feng's body and knelt on the ground. Chapter 2277. How is this possible? How is this possible? This can't be real, it can't be real. The thousand-eyed evil lord roared hysterically. He couldn't accept what was happening before him. He was a giant god realm 3rd heaven cultivator. With such a cultivation, he could be considered an overlord even in the entire 9 prefectures. But now, in front of Lin Feng, he couldn't even withstand the aura emitted by Lin Feng. How could the thousand-eyed evil lord accept this? To the thousand-eyed evil lord, this was a deep blow that made him feel endless humiliation. He's too strong. Everyone else was dumbfounded. Even the Snake Queen looked extremely shocked at this moment. She knew that Lin Feng had extraordinary means, especially after so many years. She knew that his cultivation must have improved by leaps and bounds. Even so, in the Snake Queen's opinion, it was already not easy for Lin Feng to contend with the thousand-eyed evil lord. How could he suppress the thousand-eyed evil lord with just the aura emitted from his body? This was too unbelievable. It was shocking and moving. Many people couldn't believe what they were seeing, including the Snake Queen. They felt like they were in a dream. As a subordinate, the most important quality is loyalty. But all of you lack loyalty. Lightning Dragon Island won't keep people like you. Get lost! Lin Feng waved his right hand. Bang, 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 more than 20 people were sent flying by him. These people were obviously close to the thousand-eyed evil lord, and they were the upper echelons of Lightning Dragon Island. If they joined forces, wouldn't they be able to make the Snake Queen a mere figurehead? Lin Feng guessed that the Snake Queen wouldn't be able to fully control Lightning Dragon Island. Humph, this place won't keep me, but there will be a place for me. Let's go. The thousand-eyed evil lord looked coldly at Lin Feng, then led his group away. Young master's strength is unparalleled, and he is wise and mighty. Yang Zhong and the others quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Feng. Previously, they had bowed to Lin Feng because of the Snake Queen, but now they were completely convinced of Lin Feng's strength. Lin Feng's display of strength had deeply shocked them. Said Lin Feng. Everybody, stand up! Thank you, young master! Yang Zhong and the others stood up. Lin Feng asked, What's the situation like on Lightning Dragon Island now? Snake Empress said. Currently, Lightning Dragon Island has a total of 530,000 cultivators. These cultivators are basically all in the true god realm, the elites of the elites. A small portion of them are in the heavenly god realm. The only giant god realm cultivators are me and the thousand-eyed evil lord. Now that the thousand-eyed evil lord has been chased away by master, there is only me, the giant god realm cultivator, left. That's right. You managed to recruit so many strong cultivators in such a short time, praised Lin Feng. The Snake Queen revealed a beautiful smile and said, It is Qina's honor to be able to share master's burden. That night, Lightning Dragon Island held a celebratory feast to welcome Lin Feng. News of what had happened during the day also spread among the Lightning Dragon Island's cultivators. Everyone knew that an extremely terrifying expert had come to Lightning Dragon Island. Even an expert as powerful as the thousand-eyed evil lord was as weak as an ant in front of him. Currently, the Lightning Dragon Island's cultivators were excitedly discussing this matter. They had joined Lightning Dragon Island because they wanted to fight for a good future. Naturally, they hoped that Lightning Dragon Island had a powerful backer. Leaning against a big tree was the best way to enjoy the shade. After the feast ended, Lin Feng went to the sealed area in the depths of the island. The seal had already been closed. This seal had been added by the Celestial Master Path's ancestor, and it was connected to the Forbidden God world. Back then, when he had opened the seal, the 5 Yazis and Sung Ming Mountain's 5 devils had escaped. However, he did not know if there were any other living beings that had escaped from the Forbidden God world. The next few days passed by in a carefree manner. During the day, Lin Feng would help strengthen the Lightning Dragon Island's restrictions. At night, he would be accompanied by a peerless beauty, the Snake Queen. Naturally, they would enjoy the beautiful moonlight. Rumble! Rumble! On this day, waves of terrifying fluctuations surged from afar. Ancient warships were sailing towards Lightning Dragon Island. There were a total of 100 ancient warships. There were 10,000 cultivators on each ancient warship. The other party had a total of 1 million cultivators. Snake Queen, why aren't you coming out to see me? At this moment, a cold voice was transmitted to Lightning Dragon Island. Lin Feng hovered in midair and saw the huge fleet in the sea. He looked at the Snake Queen and asked, "Who are these people?" "They are from Devil Swarm Island. The cultivator leading them is called Young Master Wu Hen. He is the son of Devil Swarm Island's island master," the Snake Queen said. "Devil Swarm Island? When did such a power appear in the Nether Sea?" Lin Feng asked in astonishment. There were many powers in the Nether Sea, but most of them were small. Since Devil Swarm Island could mobilize so many warships and cultivator armies, it was obvious that they were a terrifying power. Such a power should not be so unknown. Lin Feng had stayed in the Nether Sea for a period of time, but he had never heard of Devil Swarm Island. The Devil's Islands is a force that has just prospered in recent years. This force has gathered a large number of experts in a short period of time. Moreover, these people are simply unscrupulous. They are incomparably ferocious. Chapter 2278. Lin Feng and the others arrived outside the Thunder Dragon Island. From a distance, Lin Feng saw young Master Wu Hen. This person looked to be in his 30s. He was rather handsome, but his complexion was somewhat pale. His entire person gave off a cold and unkind feeling. Young Master Wu Hen's eyes were fixed on the Snake Queen. That pair of cold eyes revealed an incomparably fiery gaze. "Snake Queen, I haven't seen you for a while, but you've become even more charming. This young island master has always known how to take care of women. If it wasn't for you, this young island master would have already attacked the Thunder Dragon Island. So, you'd better be tactful and obediently become this young island master's 99th concubine. Moreover, you should also obediently offer the several 100,000 cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island to this young island master. This way, this young island master will dote on you even more. If you don't know what's good for you, this young island master can give an order to capture the Thunder Dragon Island. The cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island will eventually be taken over by this young island master. You don't even have the qualifications to be this young island master's concubine. You'll become the lowest concubine in the world." Young Master Wu Hen said sinisterly. "You're going too far." The Snake Queen's face turned ashen. If an ordinary person dared to speak to her like this, she would have already taken action. However, the power behind this young Master Wu Hen was too great. She didn't dare to offend him. If a fight really broke out, the Thunder Dragon Island wouldn't be a match for the Devil Pack Islands. "It's early in the morning to hear a male dog barking in heat. What a bummer. Scram back to where you came from. Otherwise, we can only close the door and beat the dog," Lin Feng sneered. This young Master Wu Hen dared to covet his woman. He was simply courting death. Originally, young Master Wu Hen didn't notice Lin Feng. It wasn't until Lin Feng spoke that he looked at Lin Feng. It was a pair of cold eyes that made one's heart turn cold. They were filled with dense killing intent. Kid, who do you think you are? How dare you humiliate this young island master? I think you don't want to live anymore. Young Master Wuhan's expression was indifferent, revealing a biting cold killing intent. Now that he was the young master of the myriad devil islands, young Master Wuhan could be said to be complacent and aloof. Only he could humiliate others. Who dared to humiliate him? That would be courting death. Lin Feng revealed a mocking expression. Even a lowly character like you dares to be so presumptuous in front of me. Slap yourself 10 times and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die today. Courting death. Dense killing intent burst out from young Master Wuhan's eyes. He stepped out of the ancient ship. Then, he looked at Lin Feng coldly and said, Little boy, don't be stupid. Get out here. Within 3 moves, this young master will take your dog life. Young Island Master, let us do it. Your body is precious. There's no need to be angry with such lowly people. Immediately, many experts said. These experts from the Devil's Swarm Island were clearly worried that young Master Wuhan would have an accident. If such a thing really happened, they would also be punished when they returned to the Islands of Devils. They were very clear about the punishment of the Devil's Swarm Island. It was simply a fate worse than death. When young Master Wuhan heard these people's dissuasion, his face turned incomparably gloomy. Do you think I'm not a match for that brat? Young Master Wuhan said with a gloomy expression. Young Master Wuhan had cultivated for 37,500 years. His talent was astonishing. Therefore, he was currently at the 5th heavenly layer of the giant god realm. Although they could not sense Lin Feng's cultivation, they could sense Lin Feng's life aura. Lin Feng's life aura was simply too young. Clearly, he had not cultivated for many years. One could conceal one's cultivation through some special means, preventing others from probing. However, one's life aura could not be concealed. Such a young cultivator, presumably, he did not have much cultivation. Thinking of this, the experts from the Devil's Swarm Island felt somewhat relieved. They did not continue to dissuade young Master Wuhan. Brat, why aren't you coming out and fighting with me? Are you afraid? If you are, then kneel on the ground and kowtow to me for mercy. Young Master Wuhan sneered as he looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng pursed his lips and said, I disdain to make a move. Do you think a trash like you is worthy of me making a move? You're simply dirtying my hands. This brat is too arrogant. The cultivators from the Devil's Swarm Island could not help but mutter. They had never seen someone as arrogant as Lin Feng. However, since Lin Feng did not accept the challenge, everyone felt that Lin Feng might just be shooting his mouth off. His mouth was powerful. But in reality, he did not have much ability. The cultivators from the Lightning Dragon Island were also muttering. Everyone had already guessed that Lin Feng was that mysterious expert. However, Lin Feng's arrogance had clearly exceeded everyone's expectations. Moreover, Lin Feng was still so young. Many people could not help but mutter. Could the rumors about that mysterious expert be false? Brat! If you don't dare to accept the challenge, then just say it. Why put on an act? Young Master Wuhan sneered. It's not that I don't dare to accept the challenge, but that I disdain it. If I were to make a move, I would only need 1 move to kill you. Lin Feng raised a finger as he spoke. Many people had bitter smiles on their faces. Young Master Wuhan was a 5th celestial stage giant god. Yet, this brat actually said that he would only need 1 move to kill young Master Wuhan. This bragging was a little too much. Please, can you stop bragging? Many people wailed inwardly. Young Master Wuhan was so angry that he laughed and said, Fine. I want to see how you're going to kill me in 1 move. Lin Feng said, I really disdain to make a move. Why didn't you listen to me? However, since you're so determined to throw away your life, I can only fulfill your wish. After saying that, Lin Feng walked toward young Master Wuhan. This brat is so good at bragging. If he claims to be second in the world, no one would dare to claim to be first. Now, He's probably going to reveal his true colors. Do you guys think that this brat will be killed by the young master in one move? That's very possible. The cultivators of the Devil Islands discussed fervently. Is that young master really capable, or is he just bragging? Isn't he a little too young? I feel like he's just bragging. I also feel like he's just bragging. Young Master Wuhan is a 5th celestial stage giant god. If that young master is just bragging, won't he be killed by young Master Wuhan in one move? The cultivators of the Lightning Dragon Islands discussed fervently. Everyone looked at Lin Feng and young Master Wuhan. Everyone was looking forward to this battle. Boom! Young Master Wuhan's body emitted a terrifying aura. When the aura spread out, many cultivators' faces turned as pale as paper. Isn't this young Master Wuhan too strong? His cultivation is very likely beyond the 5th celestial stage. Many people exclaimed. Chapter 2279. Young Master Wuhan's aura was so terrifying that it was suffocating. Before he even made a move, he had already shocked the hearts of the surrounding cultivators, giving them a feeling that they could not resist. Young Master Wuhan's black hair fluttered in the wind, making him look like a demon or a god. On his face, there was a look of superiority. My cultivation has already broken through, and I'm only one step away from the 7th layer of the giant god realm. I'm dozens of times stronger than when I was at the 5th layer. Young Master Wuhan said indifferently. What? He's that powerful? Everyone exclaimed. They did not expect young Master Wuhan to be so powerful. Young Master is too strong. That brat is dead for sure. That's right. That brat will die miserably. The cultivators of the Devil Islands cried out excitedly. That young master is done for this time. Yeah, young Master Wuhan's cultivation is too strong. It's simply impossible to resist him. The cultivators of the Thunder Dragon Island had solemn expressions. Duzu curled his lips and said, not to mention that he hasn't reached the 7th layer of the giant god realm. Even if he did, so what? In front of young master, he's still an ant. Many people rolled their eyes. Their master knew how to brag. Even their master's guard knew how to brag. Limitless Thunderfire Art! At this time, young Master Wuhan made his move. Dense Thunderfire energy appeared in his right hand. In his left hand, Flame energy appeared. The Thunderfire energy and Flame energy fused together. They formed a powerful Thunderfire energy. The power of lightning and fire fused together, turning into a distorted ball of energy. The Thunderfire energy fused together. Waves of destructive energy rippled out from his body. This is a top-rate Emperor art. Supposedly, it was created by an Imperial Monarch realm expert called the Heavenly Emperor of Lightning and Fire. It's simply invincible and invincible. Young Master used this top-notch Emperor technique as soon as he arrived. It seems like he wants to kill that brat instantly. That must be his plan. With such a terrifying Emperor technique, that brat will definitely die even if he has 9 lives. The cultivators of the Devil Islands discussed in low voices. The way they looked at Lin Feng, it was no different from looking at a dead person. In their opinion, Lin Feng was dead for sure. On the other hand, the cultivators from Thunder Dragon Island wore solemn expressions. After Lin Feng was killed, the cultivator army of the Myriad Devil Islands and the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Islands were bound to engage in a bloody battle. If Lin Feng was instantly killed, the momentum of the Hell Thunder Dragon Island would be greatly affected. Therefore, the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island was in an extremely disadvantageous situation. Die, brat! Young Master Wuhan grinned maliciously as he unleashed a peerless attack at Lin Feng. At this moment, Lin Feng was still motionless. Don't tell me he's scared, silly? The cultivators of the Devil Islands looked at Lin Feng with sneers. As for young Master Wuhan, an arrogant expression appeared at the corner of his mouth. In his opinion, Lin Feng would undoubtedly die today. No one could save Lin Feng's life. Just as the terrifying attack was about to reach Lin Feng's body, at this moment, everyone saw. Lin Feng finally moved. His movements were very slow. so slow that everyone could clearly see Lin Feng's every move. However, that seemingly slow movement was as fast as lightning when it was condensed into an attack. This was a very strange feeling. Clearly, it was a very slow movement. But at the same time, it gave people a feeling of being struck by lightning. Lin Feng raised his right hand and gently slashed in the air. Buzz! A blade light condensed. That blade light cut through the sky. It directly slashed at young Master Wu Hen. PFFF! The divine ability condensed by young Master Wu Hen was directly torn apart. Impossible! Young Master Wu Hen's originally complacent expression instantly turned into horror as he shouted in disbelief. Feeling the terror of that blade light, young Master Wu Hen did not dare to take it head on. He frantically retreated, wanting to avoid this terrifying attack. However, he was horrified to discover that no matter how he dodged, he could not avoid this attack. Quickly save me! Young Master Wu Hen roared. Quickly save the young master! Immediately, more than a dozen peak experts rushed toward young Master Wu Hen, wanting to save him. But it was already too late. PFFF. The blade light pierced through young Master Wu Hen's body. Young Master Wu Hen was directly split into two. This. Everyone had an incomparably shocked expression. Young Master Wu Hen had such a powerful cultivation. But he was actually killed in a single move. Just what level was that young master at? Wasn't this too terrifying? The young master is dead. Kill him. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer to the master. A seventh-layer giant god expert bellowed. They knew very well how terrifying the island master was. Young Master Wu Hen was the only son of the master. Now, he had died miserably. These people had an unshirkable responsibility, and when the time came, they would definitely be severely punished. But if they could kill Lin Feng, they would be able to change their situation. Kill! A deep roar was heard. More than 20 experts charged toward Lin Feng. These people were all the upper echelons of the Devil Isle. They were the peak experts of the Devil Isle. Each of them was a giant god expert. Even in a peak force like the Devil Isle, there were only slightly more than 30 of such experts. But now young Master Wu Hen had brought more than 20 people with him. From this, one could see how much the master of the Devil Isle loved his son. He was afraid that something would happen to young Master Wu Hen, which was why he had sent so many experts to protect him. But in the end, young Master Wu Hen had died in Lin Feng's hands. Attack! The Snake Empress shouted, wanting to lead the cultivator army of the Lightning Dragon Isle to reinforce Lin Feng. No matter how strong Lin Feng was, a single person could not contend against more than 20 giant gods, right? At this time, Duzu curled his lips and said, "They're just a bunch of cats and dogs. For the young master, dealing with them is as easy as crushing a group of ants. Everyone, just watch the show. A bunch of cats and dogs? Crushing them is as easy as crushing a group of ants?" Everyone looked at each other in dismay. That young master, was he really that terrifying? Then, these people saw a scene that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. They saw him being besieged by more than 20 giant gods. The handsome young master with shoulder-length black hair casually stepped out. He used his palm as a saber. He shuttled through the crowd. Saber energy vibrated out one after another. Every blade aura that flew out could instantly kill a giant god powerhouse. In a few breaths of time, more than 20 giant god realm powerhouses were all slain. Between heaven and earth, not a sound could be heard. One after another, eyes turned pale with shock as they looked at the handsome young man standing proudly in the void. It was as if stormy waves had been set off in everyone's hearts. Chapter 2280. The combat strength Lin Feng displayed was simply too terrifying. It deeply shocked everyone, causing their expressions to change. Run! At this moment, the cultivators on the Devil Island side finally regained their senses. No one knew who it was, but someone shouted. One after another, the ancient warships quickly changed their direction and fled into the distance. Lin Feng was too terrifying. With so many giant God Realm experts killed, the Devil Island's side was like a group of dragons without a leader. They had turned into a pile of loose sand and were no longer a threat. Therefore, the cultivators on the Devil Island's side fled in a sorry state. Kill! Their roars shook the sky. Naturally, the cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island would not let the cultivators on the Devil Islands off so easily. At this moment, the cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island were full of vigor. At the same time, Lin Feng directly activated the grand formation he had set up previously. During the past few days, Lin Feng had strengthened the grand formation on the Lightning Dragon Island. The sea region within a radius of 30 li was enveloped by the grand formation. Powerful ripples shook the void. The formation runes intertwined and sealed the world. The surrounding heaven and earth were completely sealed off. The ancient ships of war were all locked in the formation. We are trapped by the grand formation. Break out! Break out with all your might! From the ancient ships of war, the panicked voices of countless cultivators from Fiend Islands could be heard. Over 100 ancient warships shot out a dense number of spirit stone cannons. They attacked the grand formation that sealed the surrounding sea region. However, ordinary spirit stone cannons were unable to break the grand formation set up by Lin Feng. It's over. The grand formation can't be broken. We're dead meat. I don't want to die. The cultivators on the Devil Island side were filled with despair. In fact, the number of cultivators on the Devil Island side was close to twice the number of cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island. However, when two armies clashed, it was never said that one could win with numbers. When two armies clashed, momentum was the most important thing. If one's momentum was strong and worked together, they would be invincible. The morale of the army was slack. Each of them fought for themselves and were utterly defeated. Clearly, the cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island had a strong momentum and were working together. On the other hand, the cultivators on the Devil Island side were utterly defeated. Before the battle even started, the cultivators on the Devil Island's side had already lost. Just as the armies were about to clash, a deep roar resounded through the heavens and earth. Devil Island's cultivators, on account of the heavens' kindness, I can spare your lives. However, you must swear an oath to pledge your loyalty to me. When Lin Feng's voice, the cultivators on the Devil Island's side. The cultivators on the Devil Island's side of the Devil Island's side was looking at each other. Soon someone said loudly, Murong Wuhan is dead. If we go back, we probably won't have a good ending. Instead of going back and being punished, it's better to rely on this young master. We are willing to submit to young master. The cultivators on the Devil Island's side knelt on the ground and swore their loyalty to Lin Feng. However, there was also a part of the cultivators who rebuked these people's actions. They would rather die in battle than submit to Lin Feng. Lin Feng, on the other hand, allowed this part of the cultivators to succeed. With a single order, this part of the cultivators were all killed. In the end, Lin Feng subdued 950,000 cultivators. The cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island had reached about 1.5 million. Devil Islands. Inside the primordial spirit lamp hall. The primordial spirit lamps of the young master, Murong Wuhan, and more than 20 giant god realm upper echelons shattered. A few servants who were cleaning saw this scene and were so frightened that they fell to the ground. Quickly report this to the elder. The servants scrambled out of the room. Not long after, the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall arrived. When he saw the shattered primordial spirit lamps, his expression turned ugly. He personally went to see the island master, Murong Baiming. Outside the hall where Murong Baiming was cultivating, the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall was stopped. I have an important matter to discuss with the island master. The elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall said in a deep voice. Please wait for a moment. We will go in and report. The guard commander said. The guard commander also knew the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall. He knew that something big must have happened for the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall to come in such a hurry. Therefore, he did not dare to delay. At this time, Murong Baiming's voice came from inside. There is no need to report this matter. Just come in. Elder, please, the guard commander said. The elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall cupped his fists and pushed the door open. He entered the hall. The huge hall was empty. A middle-aged man was sitting cross-legged in the middle of the hall. That middle-aged man was like an ancient devil that had not moved since ancient times, although he did not deliberately emit a powerful aura fluctuation. However, it still gave people a feeling of fear and trepidation. The man who looked like an ancient devil was the island master of the Devil's Island, Murong Baiming. After seeing Murong Baiming, the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Island Master, something has happened to the young Island Master. Murong Baiming, who had his eyes closed, instantly opened his eyes when he heard that something had happened to Murong Wuhan. His eyes revealed two cold rays of light. What happened? Murong Baiming asked in a deep voice. The primordial spirit lamps of the young Island Master and more than 20 giant god experts have all shattered. The elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall said. What? Murong Baiming's eyes could not help but burst out with endless killing intent. The void in front of him was shattered by the killing intent bursting out from Murong Baiming's eyes. Lightning Dragon Island, the Snake Empress said. Master, young Master Wuhan, and so many giant god experts have been killed. In addition, the Devil's Island has lost millions of cultivators. The Devil's Island will definitely not let this matter rest. This servant guesses that the island master of the Devil's Island, Murong Baiming, will personally lead the cultivator army here. What is Murong Baiming's cultivation? Lin Feng asked. It is said that he is a half-step emperor expert, the Snake Empress said. Half-step emperor? Lin Feng was very surprised. Murong Baiming was already so terrifying. How terrifying was the strength of the supremacy behind Murong Baiming? Just thinking about it made people shudder with fear. If we want to kill Murong Baiming, we need to make some preparations in advance. Lin Feng could not help but narrow his eyes. Naturally, what happened on the Lightning Dragon Island could not be kept a secret. Soon, as if it had grown wings, it spread throughout the Netherworld Sea. The cultivators in the various cultivators' gathering places were discussing this matter. Many people were waiting for the Devil's Island to respond. After all, ever since the Devil's Island was established, it had never suffered any losses. It had never suffered a loss. Even in the battle against the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Mermaid Clan, the Devil's Island had always won. This time, the Devil's Island had suffered such a big loss. It was impossible for them to swallow this insult. Chapter 2281. Demon's Island. The army gathered. Murong Baiming planned to personally lead the army to attack Thunder Dragon Island. He vowed to destroy Thunder Dragon Island, then capture Lin Feng and cut him into pieces to avenge Murong Wuhan. At this moment, a cloud of black fog flew over from afar. A man stood vaguely in the black fog. Your Honor! Seeing the man, Murong Baiming hurriedly knelt on the ground and saluted him. Greetings, Your Honor! The 5 million cultivator army also saluted his honor. A mere Thunder Dragon Island can be destroyed with a flick of a finger. Is it worth it to make such a big fuss for such a small force? His honor looked at Murong Baiming. His honor looked directly at someone as powerful as Murong Baiming. Even Murong Baiming had a feeling of trepidation. His honor was his benefactor in the Forbidden God realm. Later, Murong Baiming became his honor's follower. A few years ago, Murong Baiming took his son and followed his honor to escape from the Forbidden God realm. Murong Baiming only had respect for his master. He didn't know his honor's cultivation level or origin. The only thing he knew was that his honor was too powerful. In the Forbidden God realm's 9th heaven, his honor was also an existence that no one dared to provoke. Now that he had returned to Jiuzhou, he was invincible. Not only that, no one was able to shake his honor's sharpness. In Murong Baiming's opinion, Lord Tortoise, the Red World Fairy, and other legendary existences. In front of his honor, they were as weak as ants. My honor, my son is dead! Murung Biming said in a sorrowful voice. It doesn't matter. When I enter the netherworld, I have a way to resurrect your son, His Honor said. Thank you, Your Honor! Thank you, Your Honor! Murung Biming was overjoyed and quickly kowtowed to His Honor. Murung Biming didn't doubt His Honor's words at all. In Murung Biming's heart, His Honor was an omnipotent existence. Conquering the 9 prefectures, let's start with conquering the Netherworld Sea. The Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race have dealt with the Demon's Islands several times. Now, it's time to destroy these 2 forces. As for the Lightning Dragon Island, after destroying the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race, you can deal with the Lightning Dragon Island however you want, said His Honor. Yes, Your Honor. This subordinate will remember Your Honor's teachings, Murung Biming said hurriedly. Swish! With a wave of his sleeve, His Honor swept away the 5 million cultivator army. Such a huge army of cultivators flew above the sea in a grandiose manner. Wherever the cultivator army passed, the islands were plundered clean. Countless people were killed by the cultivator army. This news quickly spread throughout the Netherworld Sea. His Holiness has taken action personally. It seems that he wants to unify the Netherworld Sea. I wonder if the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk can stop you, my lord? Countless people were discussing this matter. Many people chose to side with the Island of Demons. As for the sea regions ruled by the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk, there were constantly cultivators fleeing. It was obvious that they did not want to participate in this war. Lin Feng also heard this news. Du Zhu said, This His Honor's ambition is not small. Lin Feng nodded and said, This person is too terrifying. Now that he has taken action personally, I wonder if the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk can stop him? It would be best if they can defeat him. When that happens, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk will definitely chase after him and the Island of Demons. It will save us a lot of trouble. Du Zhu said, It won't be that easy to deal with His Honor. However, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk definitely have a terrifying foundation. It's hard to say how this battle will turn out. Evil Dominator Saint said, We should still prepare for both sides. Lin Feng nodded and said, Yes, we do need to prepare for both sides. We also need to pay attention to the situation over there at all times. Facing His Honor's aggressiveness, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk joined forces to fight His Honor. The cultivator armies of both sides fought fiercely, and the sea was dyed blood red. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk both brought out their own foundation. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom had an ancient expert who sealed himself in a stone. His cultivation could be said to be heaven-defying. As for the Merfolk, they took out a broken ancient killing weapon. The ancient killing weapon was one of the 9 great ancient weapons. It was a terrifying weapon that surpassed Emperor weapons. Once it was activated, its power was boundless. Although the ancient killing weapon in the Merfolk's hands was broken, it was still unimaginably terrifying. Thus, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk were full of confidence in this battle. However, no one expected that. Everyone had underestimated His Honor's strength. His Honor was too strong. He was so strong that even the ancient expert who sealed himself in the stone was not his match. His Honor broke the other party's stone seal and heavily injured the ancient expert from the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom. And the most shocking thing was that His Honor actually had an ancient demonic weapon. It was one of the 9 great ancient weapons. The ancient demonic weapon in His Honor's hands was actually intact. That was too terrifying. The power of an intact ancient demonic weapon was incomparable to the broken ancient killing weapon of the Merfolk. In this battle, the Merfolk cultivators died one after another, and the ancient killing weapon was taken by His Honor. Apart from the ancient expert who sealed himself in the stone and escaped with serious injuries, the allied forces of the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk died. The rest died in battle. The Dark Ocean had become a sea of blood, and there were corpses everywhere. Blood rained down like rain. After His Honor attacked once, he did not attack again. It was as if he could not be bothered to continue attacking. Murung Baiming led the army to attack the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk Empire that had just been established for a few years. Countless people were killed. Only a few people from the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk escaped. The others had also died in this calamity. These were two colossal forces. They were destroyed in the blink of an eye. This matter quickly spread throughout the entire 9 regions. The 10 immortal sects. The upper echelons of many ancient sects, ancient sacred lands, and ancient families were also paying attention to this matter. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk were both top powers. But they were destroyed so easily. Who exactly is that His Honor? Wasn't he too terrifying? Even the strongest person in the 9 states, the Red World Fairy, was probably not His Honor's match. His Honor was very mysterious. He disappeared again, and the matters of the Dark Ocean were left to Murung Baiming to handle. Many major powers sent people to the Dark Ocean to gather information because they felt that something was amiss. Perhaps His Honor's ambition was not as simple as unifying the Dark Ocean. The signs of the 5 decay of heaven. Grandpa Martin walked on the sea. He frowned slightly. This is not a place to stay for long. I'd better escape. Grandpa Martin muttered and was about to leave quickly. At this moment, a man walked over from afar. That man was shrouded in black fog. Honor, His Honor! Grandpa Martin's expression changed when he saw that man. He turned and fled. Chapter 2282. Grandpa Martin, why are you in such a hurry? His Honor chased after Grandpa Martin step by step. His Honor's speed was simply too fast. Grandpa Martin ran frantically, but was unable to shake His Honor off. Being targeted by His Honor, Grandpa Martin felt like crying. Grandpa Martin shouted, His Honor, there is no enmity between us, please don't chase after me. There aren't many people from that era who are still alive. You are one of them. When old friends meet, shouldn't we have a good chat? Yet you left so decisively, this is simply too heartbreaking. His Honor said. Go to hell, old friend. Grandpa Martin, are you close to me? Grandpa Martin thought fiercely. However, he did not dare to say these words in front of His Honor. Grandpa Martin said, I have an urgent matter, so I left in a hurry. How about we meet another day? At that time, I will treat you to immortal tea, His Honor said. What could be more important than meeting an old friend? Tell me, let me hear it. Grandpa Martin felt bitter in his heart. What he said just now was just an excuse that he came up with. Grandpa Martin said, What I am going to do is extremely important, but it is not convenient for me to reveal it. Thus, I am unable to tell you about it. His Honor's expression became cold and indifferent. Grandpa Martin, it seems that you don't treat me as a friend. Since that is the case, there is no need for me to treat you as a friend. After saying that, His Honor increased his speed. Grandpa Martin saw that His Honor was chasing after him, and he was almost scared out of his wits. Grandpa Martin increased his speed to the limit, but he was still unable to shake His Honor off. Grandpa Martin was not good at fighting. What he was best at was divination and deduction, as well as all kinds of other arts. Very quickly, His Honor caught up to Grandpa Martin, then sent a palm towards Grandpa Martin. His Honor, can you not be impulsive? Impulsiveness is the devil! Grandpa Martin shouted. Bang! Along with the fierce attack, Grandpa Martin was sent flying by His Honor. A line of blood was left behind in the air. Grandpa Martin's body was sent flying, and his face was deathly pale. He stood in the air with difficulty, and looking at his appearance, he was on the verge of collapse. His Honor said with a smile, Grandpa Martin, so many years have passed, why is your cultivation still so weak? What exactly have you been doing all these years? Even if a pig were to live to your age, its cultivation level would be much higher than yours, right? Grandpa Martin grinned and said, Grandpa Martin is not interested in cultivation. If Grandpa Martin were to cultivate properly, you would be the one vomiting blood from Grandpa Martin's palm today. Grandpa Martin coughed up blood as he spoke. It was obvious that his injuries were not light. His Honor smiled and said, "Is that so? Your stubborn personality hasn't changed in the slightest after so many years. Let me ask you something. If you answer me honestly, I might let you live." Grandpa Martin said, "Feel free to ask. As long as you don't kill me, I'll tell you everything." "Those who suppressed me back then, where are they now?" asked His Honor. "They went to the undying world long ago. By now, they have probably become big shots of the undying world, right?" Grandpa Martin said. "Undying world. Very good, very good. Wait until I get to the undying world. I'm going to cut them into 1,000 pieces." Dense killing intent appeared on His Honor's face. "Can I leave now?" Grandpa Martin asked. The corner of His Honor's mouth curled up into a cold smile and said, "Grandpa Martin, when you perform fortune-telling for others, have you ever divined what your own fate would be like?" Grandpa Martin said, "This? I've divined for myself, but my divinations aren't very accurate." "Is that so? That's truly a pity. If you had divined for yourself, you might have been able to avoid this calamity." His Honor laughed lightly and lightly waved his right hand. Swoosh! A dazzling sword aura swept out. Pooh! That sword aura directly pierced through Grandpa Martin's chest. Grandpa Martin looked at his chest that was pierced through by the sword aura. He stretched out his hand, wanting to cover the wound that was continuously bleeding. However, no matter how hard he tried, he was unable to stop the blood from flowing out. "This sword of mine has destroyed all of your life force. You can go on your way with peace of mind," His Honor said indifferently. Grandpa Martin said, "You didn't keep your word. You said that you would let me go." His Honor said indifferently, "I only said that I would consider letting you go, but I didn't say that I would definitely let you go. Just now, I had thought it through, and that is, I have decided to take your life." How ironic. I, Grandpa Martin, had just divined that a brat would have a bloody calamity. That brat hasn't even gotten into trouble yet, but I, Grandpa Martin, have already died. Grandpa Martin cried out miserably as his body fell into the sea and was instantly swallowed by the rolling waves. "Grandpa Martin, have a safe journey." His Honor's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. Following which, he stepped into the distance and disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. After the fall of the Netherworld Sea's divine nation and the Merfolk Empire, the majority of the sea region had been occupied by the demonic islands. Now, only the last piece of land was left, and that was the Lightning Dragon Island. Originally, Lin Feng had planned to let the Snake Queen continue to take root in the Netherworld Sea's divine nation, but now, he had changed his mind. Previously, when the divine nation of the Netherworld Sea and the Merfolk Empire were still around, there were two great powers that were restraining His Honor and the demonic islands. But now, these two great powers had been destroyed. There was no one else that could restrain His Honor and the demonic islands. Continuing to stay here was truly not a wise move. Therefore, Lin Feng wanted to move the cultivator army of the Lightning Dragon Island away. He had set up a space-time shift formation on the Lightning Dragon Island, which could directly shift a long distance to the northern icefield. But what Lin Feng didn't expect was that the space-time shift formation had just been set up. The cultivator army of the demonic islands had already heavily surrounded the Lightning Dragon Island. 5 million cultivator army arrived on the ancient warships. Now, the Lightning Dragon Island was completely surrounded. The defensive restriction of the Lightning Dragon Island was activated. Lin Feng didn't plan to fight. "Prepare to move. When we arrive at the northern icefield, rest and reorganize. Observe the situation in the Netherworld Sea. If there are any changes in the Netherworld Sea's divine nation, the army will come back and fight for the territory," Lin Feng said. The changes he was talking about were the 10 great immortal sects, those ancient sacred grounds, ancient families, and other forces that might make a move against His Honor. After all, His Honor's threat was too great. Those top forces would most likely not let His Honor continue to grow. Otherwise, once His Honor became a great threat, at that time, it would be impossible to deal with His Honor. Lin Feng was also waiting for those top forces to make a move against His Honor. As long as his honor was killed, the 1.5 million cultivator army of the Lightning Dragon Island would immediately come back. By then, the authority of the Netherworld Sea would be in Lin Feng's hands. Let's go. Follow me to kill Murong Baiming. Lin Feng looked at Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint. He had decided to kill Murong Baiming before leaving. It could be considered as a greeting gift to his honor. Chapter 2283. Lin Feng had set up an extremely powerful formation to deal with Murong Baiming. As for his honor, Lin Feng expected that this person would not casually make a move. His honor was too arrogant. Even when dealing with the two top forces, the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Mermaid Empire. After defeating the experts in the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom and snatching the ancient killing weapon of the mermaid race, his honor did not make a move again. From this, it could be seen. His honor disdained to make a move on those forces. And Thunder Dragon Island paled in comparison to the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Mermaid Empire. Therefore, it was even more impossible for his honor to deal with Thunder Dragon Island. The person who dealt with Thunder Dragon Island must be Murong Baiming. Although Murong Baiming was powerful, it was not impossible to deal with him. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, the evil Dominator Saint, and the Quasi-Emperor Puppet. In addition to the formation set up by Lin Feng. Lin Feng had the 9 demons painting, the Wolverine mace, the 5 dragon wheel, and other top-grade treasures. With so many experts working together with the formation and so many top-grade treasures, how could he not kill Murong Baiming alone? Lin Feng had a high chance of killing Murong Baiming. Haha, I can't wait to make a move! Du Zhu could not help but laugh. Kill Murong Baiming and snatch his wealth. As the island master of Demon's Island, this guy must be filthy rich. Du Zhu's eyes were glowing with green light. Master, you must be careful, the Snake Queen reminded. Don't worry. You just need to preside over everyone's transfer here, Lin Feng said. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Then, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint flew out. Lord Island Master, 3 people flew out from Thunder Dragon Island. Seeing Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint flying out of the Lightning Dragon Island, someone immediately went to report to Murong Baiming. Murong Baiming walked out of the cabin and saw Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic Dominator Saint standing in the void. He sneered and said, What? Is it just the 3 of you who came out to die? Lin Feng smiled faintly and said, Murong Baiming, it seems that you still don't know me. I was the one who killed Murong Wuhan. What? Did you kill Wuhan? After hearing Lin Feng's words, Murong Baiming's eyes suddenly burst out with killing intent. If looks could kill, Lin Feng would have been cut into 1,000 pieces by Murong Baiming's glare. Come out, Murong Baiming. Let's fight. Life or death, victory or defeat, Lin Feng said indifferently. Brat, since you want to die, this island master will fulfill your wish. Murong Baiming's eyes were filled with coldness. Island master, you can't do that. This brat is cunning. We have to guard against him. Our army of 5 million cultivators has already surrounded the Lightning Dragon Island. Island Master only needs to give the order and everyone on the Lightning Dragon Island will be annihilated. That brat won't be an exception. There's no need for Island Master to act personally. That's right, Island Master. We only need to give the order and the army of 5 million cultivators will immediately attack the Lightning Dragon Island. That brat will only die then. Many higher-ups of the demonic island tried to dissuade Murong Baiming. Murong Baiming's face suddenly sank and said, Wuhan was killed by this brat. How can I not avenge my son's death? The army will annihilate him to avenge young Island Master, said one of the higher-ups. Murong Baiming's face sank and said, This Island Master will personally cut that brat into 1,000 pieces. Only then will I be able to vent the hatred in my heart. Murong Baiming then looked coldly at the higher-ups of the demonic island who were trying to dissuade him from taking action. He said coldly, This Island Master has been a half-step emperor for 720,000 years. Do you think that I'm not a match for that brat? After feeling Murong Baiming's cold gaze, everyone felt a sudden chill in their hearts. They hurriedly said in unison, "Of course we don't dare to have such thoughts. We're just worried that the boy is playing some tricks on you, Island Master." "Humph, before absolute strength, any tricks are useless." Murong Baiming sneered. He then continued, "This Island Master will personally kill that brat. You all will attack the island with all your strength. Kill everyone on the Lightning Dragon Island. Leave no one alive." "Understood." The higher-ups of the demonic island quickly replied. Murong Baiming stepped forward and walked towards Lin Feng. "Brat, have you thought about how you're going to die?" Murong Baiming sneered as he looked at Lin Feng. TSK, since I can kill Murong Wuhan, I can also kill you. Soon you will go to hell to meet Murong Wuhan." Lin Feng sneered. Murong Baiming said indifferently, "Brat, do you really think that Wuhan is dead? Let me tell you, His Honor has promised this Island Master that he will revive Wuhan in the Netherworld." Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the demonic holiness saint looked at each other. This guy couldn't be telling the truth, right? The dead can be revived? If His Honor has such an ability, wouldn't it be too terrifying? What is His Honor's cultivation level? Murong Baiming sneered and said, "Wuhan will be revived soon. As for you, you will fall into the 18 layers of hell and never be reincarnated." Hong. A terrifying wave of energy was emitted from Murong Baiming's body. The wave was so powerful that it was suffocating. So strong! This person is extremely powerful even among half-step emperors. Du Zhu's expression turned solemn. Lin Feng nodded. Murong Baiming's strength was indeed too strong. However, this was also within Lin Feng's expectations. When he decided to deal with Murong Baiming, Lin Feng had already anticipated all kinds of possible consequences. The current situation was also within Lin Feng's expectations. When Murong Baiming rushed towards Lin Feng activated the space-time teleportation array outside the Lightning Dragon Island. The array enveloped Lin Feng, Du Zhu, the demonic holiness saint, and Murong Baiming. Swish. In the next moment, the four disappeared without a trace. Island Master has been teleported away. Should we go look for Island Master? Seeing Murong Baiming being teleported away, one of the higher-ups of the Devil Owl frowned and said, "The Island Master's strength is unfathomable. It won't be a problem for him to deal with those people. Moreover, the Island Master has already instructed us to attack the Lightning Dragon Island with all our strength. Let's attack the Lightning Dragon Island here and try our best to take down the Lightning Dragon Island before the Island Master returns," another higher-up said. "All right, let's attack the Lightning Dragon Island." The rest of the higher-ups nodded. Woo woo woo, soon, the bugle horn for the attack sounded. Numerous ancient warships shot out a dense number of spiritual stone cannons toward the restriction of the Lightning Dragon Island. Chapter 2284. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng and the other three came to another sea area. This place was located 30 miles northwest of Thunder Dragon Island. As far as the eye could see, one could see numerous small islands densely distributed in the surroundings. Lin Feng set up a large formation here. This place looked ordinary, but in fact, it contained a mystery. The islands that were densely distributed like stars in the sky reflected the stardust in the sky, and they were able to attract the power of the stars. Lin Feng relied on this natural terrain to create the large formation here. He set up a total of 3 formations here. The first formation was called the Million Stars Slaughtering Gods Destroying Immortals formation, which was a top formation passed down from the Celestial Master sect. The terrain of this place. It just so happened that it complemented Lin Feng's great deployment spell perfectly. In addition, Lin Feng also set up the Immortal Slaying formation. These 2 formations were the main formations, one yin and one yang, and yin and yang were combined. It was mysterious and unpredictable. In addition to these 2 main formations, Lin Feng also set up a dozen auxiliary formations. For example, some maze formations, illusion formations, killing formations, and so on. These formations were powerful enough, and Lin Feng had many powerful magic treasures. Moreover, Lin Feng and the others were also very powerful. This was why Lin Feng was confident that he could kill Murong Baiming. Murong Baiming looked around coldly. Although he didn't see anything mysterious, his instincts made him frown slightly. Brat, do you think that by moving me to this place and playing some tricks, you'll be able to deal with me? It's just wishful thinking. Now I'm going to kill you! Murong Baiming's voice was indifferent. He walked toward Lin Feng step by step, and a 9-colored energy ball appeared in his palm. That ball of energy was truly terrifying. It actually caused the surrounding space to distort. Moreover, it emitted a powerful wave of energy that could destroy the heavens and the earth. Murong Baiming began to condense his magical power to deal with Lin Feng. Lin Feng activated the large formation. Buzz. When the array was activated, white mist began to envelop the area. Murong Baiming's expression suddenly darkened. He was experienced and knowledgeable, so he knew that Lin Feng was setting up a big array to deal with him. Therefore, Murong Baiming hurriedly condensed an energy ball in his hand and blasted it towards Lin Feng. However, when the energy ball blasted towards Lin Feng, Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint, the three of them had already disappeared. Murong Baiming's attack missed and failed to cause any harm to Lin Feng, Du Zhu, or the evil Dominator Saint. Murong Baiming! You think too highly of yourself. Today is the day you die, Lin Feng said indifferently. Murong Baiming said coldly, Boy, do you think you can kill me by arranging a large array? That's simply a fool's dream. In the face of absolute strength, no matter what kind of conspiracy, it will collapse at the first blow. Lin Feng sneered and said, Murong Baiming, you think too highly of yourself. How dare you call the large array a conspiracy? Have you heard of the saying, don't enter the array? If you've heard of it, then you should know that you're trapped in the formation today. There's an 80% chance that your soul will die. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as Lin Feng's voice fell, the large array was completely activated. Streaks of divine light shot out from the islands that were as dense as the stars in the sky. Buzz. At the same time, the wind and clouds in the 9th heaven suddenly changed. The sky was originally clear. In the blink of an eye, night fell. In the endless darkness, stars appeared one after another. Those stars shone down beams of starlight. The islands in the sea and the stars in the starry sky reflected each other's brilliance. The streaks of starlight actually transformed into chains of order. Clatter. These chains of order were intertwined with the power of stars, and they made sounds of chains colliding with each other. The chains of order swept toward Murong Baiming. At the same time, the Immortal Execution Array and more than a dozen different arrays were activated. The Immortal Execution Array condensed billions of sword chi. They slashed toward Murong Baiming. The other killing arrays also condensed various powerful attacks, such as the Thousand Beasts Array condensing a dense herd of beasts. It was as if the evil flood dragon formation had formed an incomparably terrifying evil flood dragon. Wait! All kinds of large arrays were unimaginably powerful. Lin Feng also summoned the Pseudo-Emperor puppet at this time. After all, the Pseudo-Emperor puppet was just a puppet and not a real Pseudo-Emperor. Therefore, the cultivation of a Pseudo-Emperor puppet was lower than that of a real Pseudo-Emperor. However, the Pseudo-Emperor puppet refined by Lin Feng was a little different. Because this Pseudo-Emperor puppet was refined from the corpse of a demonic insect from another world, and this demonic insect was highly toxic. Therefore, the threat of the Pseudo-Emperor puppet containing highly toxic poison was no less than that of a real Pseudo-Emperor. Lin Feng didn't use the Pseudo-Emperor puppet before because he didn't want to expose his Pseudo-Emperor puppet. The Pseudo-Emperor puppet was one of his trump cards now. Now, in order to kill Murong Baiming, Lin Feng used all his means and summoned the Pseudo-Emperor puppet. In addition to the Pseudo-Emperor puppet, Lin Feng also summoned the 9 demons diagram and the 5 dragons wheel. These two magic treasures suppressed the core of the immortal execution array and the thousand stars god slaughtering immortal extinguishing array respectively. They increased the power of the two large arrays. Lin Feng held the wolf-tooth mace, Du Zhu held the myriad poisons blade, and the evil dominator saint held the death scythe. Together with the pseudo-emperor puppet, they began to besiege Murong Baiming. No matter how powerful Murong Baiming was, he was only one person. Lin Feng's various attacks were endless. As time went by, Murong Baiming's consumption continued to increase. Murong Baiming also encountered some trouble. Under the various attacks, Murong Baiming gradually revealed his fatigue and flaws. Lin Feng seized one of Murong Baiming's flaws and directly smashed the wolf-tooth mace toward Murong Baiming. Bang! A muffled sound of collision was heard. The wolf-tooth mace hit Murong Baiming hard. It directly sent Murong Baiming flying. Wah! After suffering such a heavy blow, Murong Baiming couldn't help spitting out a mouthful of blood. At the same time, the thousand stars god's slaughtering immortal extinguishing array continued to show its power, summoning meteorites from outer space and smashing toward Murong Baiming. Break! Murong Baiming waved his fist and swept it towards the dense meteorites. Countless meteorites from outer space were directly shattered. But at this moment, the pseudo-emperor puppet silently lurked behind Murong Baiming and swept its sharp claws toward Murong Baiming. Murong Baiming's reaction was extremely fast. He quickly dodged the attack of the pseudo-emperor puppet. But Murong Baiming couldn't avoid it. Puff! The pseudo-emperor puppet left a deep wound on Murong Baiming's back, so deep that his bones could be seen. Chapter 2285. Murong Baiming could not help but let out a shrill scream as his wound quickly festered. The poison contained in the half-step emperor puppet was extremely terrifying. Murong Baiming was also made of flesh and blood. Since he was made of flesh and blood, it was natural for him to be poisoned. However, Murong Baiming did not have a heaven and earth spirit beast like the white jade toad that could detoxify poison. Therefore, the poison of the half-step emperor puppet poured into Murong Baiming's body in a very short time. Murong Baiming felt his spiritual power become sluggish, and his body could not help but twitch. Bang! He slapped the quasi-emperor puppet with his palm and sent it flying. Ha 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 ha, Murong Baiming, it seems that you have been poisoned deeply. Now you can't escape even if you have wings. Lin Feng could not help but laugh. Little bastard! It's not that easy to kill me. Today I've been tricked by you. I'll tolerate you for the time being. When I recover from my injuries, I'll skin you alive. Murong Baiming's resentful voice came out. Now he also knew that his situation was very bad, so he no longer had the intention to continue fighting with Lin Feng. He just wanted to escape as soon as possible. As long as there was life, there was hope. Murong Baiming naturally understood this truth. Whoosh! Murong Baiming quickly rushed out of the large formation. His body turned into a dazzling sword light. Whether it was the chains of order, the formation patterns intertwined by various large formations, or the attacks released, anything that touched the sword chi of Murong Baiming was directly torn apart. Damn, this guy's ability is so terrifying! Du Zhu suddenly shouted. He is now holding a breath in his chest. As long as we can break this breath in his chest, Murong Baiming's vitality will inevitably be greatly damaged. Evil Dominator Saint said. Swish! At this time, Lin Feng waved his right hand. The primitive magic cauldron flew out. The primitive magic cauldron was a treasure that was not inferior to the four ferocious cauldron. Lin Feng said, Activate the primitive magic cauldron with me. Let's forcibly break this person's state. All right. Du Zhu and the evil dominator wholly nodded and followed Lin Feng into the cauldron. Buzz. Immediately after, the primordial magic cauldron was activated. The original demonic cauldron rose into the sky and quickly rushed toward the sword chi that Murong Baiming had transformed into. Soon, it reached Murong Baiming. Then, It fiercely collided with Murong Baiming's sword chi. Clang! The two sides collided. It sounded like a huge bell being struck. It was deafening. Murong Baiming's sword chi was invincible. However, the primordial magic cauldron was simply too sturdy. Although Murong Baiming's sword chi had cut through the chains of order and destroyed all kinds of formation runes, it was still not enough. However, they failed to destroy the primordial magic cauldron. The defensive power of the primordial magic cauldron was simply too astonishing. After being blocked by the primordial magic cauldron, Murong Baiming's sword chi also returned to its original form. After his transformation was interrupted, Murong Baiming's accumulated anger was also interrupted. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face had already turned black, which was a sign that he was deeply poisoned. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator wholly flew out of the primordial magic cauldron. Du Zhu cried out, "Son of a bitch, weren't you very awesome just now? It seems that you can't be awesome now. It's really like a dragon being played by a shrimp when he's in shallow waters, and a tiger being bullied by a dog when he's down. I didn't expect that I would end up like this today." Murong Baiming's face was extremely ugly. His eyes flashed with murderous intent. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator wholly scolded at the same time. "You're the shrimp, you're the dog. Your whole family is shrimp, your whole family is dogs. We haven't reached the point of life and death between us. How about we each take a step back? This is a good thing for both of us." Murong Baiming suddenly changed his tone and said aloud, "I have the chance to kill you. Why should we each take a step back?" Lin Feng sneered. "What's more, leaving you alive is really a big problem. If that's the case, even if I die today, I'll drag someone down with me." Murong Baiming roared, and his body began to burn. "Ignite my demonic body and fight to the death!" Murong Baiming roared. His body continued to burn. Murong Baiming's aura became stronger and more terrifying. He quickly pounced on Lin Feng. Obviously, he wanted to drag Lin Feng down with him. "Murong Baiming, give up! You're now a trapped beast. You can't change anything at all." Lin Feng looked indifferent. He waved his hand and the formation lines intertwined. Whoosh! 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 Light flickered. He, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator wholly disappeared without a trace. The pseudo-emperor puppet pounced on Murong Baiming. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator wholly did not fight Murong Baiming in close combat. The three of them activated the formation and magic treasures to attack Murong Baiming. Murong Baiming was fighting back before his death. At this time, they should be more careful. Boom! 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 The two sides fought fiercely for hundreds of rounds. Puff! The pseudo-emperor puppet seized the opportunity and pierced Murong Baiming's chest with its sharp claws. Ah! Murong Baiming roared in pain and slapped the pseudo-emperor puppet with his palm. The pseudo-emperor puppet quickly retreated and dodged Murong Baiming's attack. Murong Baiming looked at the wound that kept bleeding. He could not help but roar hysterically. "How can this be? I can't believe I'm going to die in the hands of ants like you. I can't accept this." Lin Feng said coldly, "You can only blame yourself for being too arrogant. Your cultivation is strong, but you're not invincible. Brat, I want you dead." Murong Baiming's face twisted and his body began to swell. At the same time, his body was emitting waves of destructive energy waves. Murong Baiming is going to self-detonate. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. The destruction caused by the self-detonation of a pseudo-emperor was unimaginable. He, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator wholly entered the primitive magic cauldron again. Lin Feng also put the pseudo-emperor puppet, the 9-demon diagram, and the 5-dragon wheel into the primitive magic cauldron. Boom! In the next moment, Murong Baiming's body exploded. Destructive shockwaves swept out, surging between heaven and earth. The terrifying energy hit the primitive magic cauldron. Although the cauldron was protecting them, Lin Feng and the others were still shaken by the shockwaves and vomited blood. Fortunately, they managed to survive. The three of them flew out of the primitive magic cauldron and were about to leave. They saw the void crack. A cloud of black mist flew out. Chapter 2286. Not good, it's his honor. Let's split up. When he saw that strong cultivator, Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. He'd seen his honor with Du Zhu and the heretical holiness before. He knew how terrifying this person was. Now that Murong Baiming had been killed, his honor actually appeared here. This was troublesome. His honor's cultivation was too strong. He was so strong that it made people despair. So when he saw his honor, Lin Feng's first thought was to run. And he had to split up with Du Zhu and the heretical holiness. That would distract his honor. If they ran together, his honor would catch them all in one fell swoop. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical holiness each took out a void Dao platform. These void Dao platforms were personally made by Lin Feng. He used precious void Dao stones as the material and branded them with a void Dao formation. It could teleport people 300 miles away. It was very precious. Lin Feng gave these void Dao platforms to people close to him. They could save their lives at a critical moment. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical holiness all activated their void Dao platforms. They quickly flew in 3 different directions. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared without a trace. Void Dao platforms! Humph! You can't escape! His honor's eyes were cold. He spat out 2 breaths. Those breaths turned into 2 clones and chased after Du Zhu and the heretical holiness. The Venerable One chased after Lin Feng to kill him. He wanted to kill Lin Feng personally. His honor actually came. How unlucky! Lin Feng couldn't help but wail gloomily. Lin Feng didn't know how strong his honor was, but he knew that even someone as strong as Murong Baiming was only his honor's subordinate. Not long ago, his honor had defeated an expert from Dark Ocean Divine Nation. I really don't know what kind of terrifying level his honor's cultivation has reached in order to be able to defeat an expert from the stone materials. Moreover, Lin Feng had heard that his honor still had a complete ancient demon artifact on him. The Merman Empire's ancient killing artifact had also been plundered by his honor. One was an ancient devil artifact, and the other was an ancient killing artifact. This guy was too terrifying. If I don't run away when I encounter his honor, I would be courting death. Swish! With a flash of light, Lin Feng rushed out of the void. Crack, crack! The void Dao platform in his hand cracked open. This void Dao platform could only be used once. After using it, it would be destroyed immediately. The void Dao platform in Lin Feng's hands was no exception. After using it, it was destroyed. He did not stop and quickly flew in the direction of the Arctic tundra. However, not long after, a cloud of black fog flew out of the void. Within the black fog stood a man. This man was none other than his honor. F***CK, isn't that too fast? When Lin Feng saw that his honor was chasing after him, Lin Feng's face turned green. His honor's speed was truly too fast. After all, Lin Feng had used the Void Dao platform to teleport. In just a few seconds he had crossed 100 miles. His honor had relied on his own speed to quickly travel over. You. Lin Feng looked at his honor somewhat incoherently. He hurriedly took out a second Void Dao platform. Swish! Lin Feng activated the second Void Dao platform, then disappeared without a trace. Lowly Ant, do you think you can escape just by using the Void Dao platform? His honor's lips curved into a sinister smile. He disappeared once again. 100 miles away, Lin Feng appeared. However, as soon as he appeared in the void, his honor was already chasing after him. It's useless. It's utterly impossible for an ant like you to escape from my hands. His honor's expression was indifferent. Lin Feng said with a pale face. For an expert like you to deal with a junior cultivator like me, don't you think you're losing face? When I attack, I do as I please. Why would I care about anything else? His Honor laughed coldly. Lin Feng's expression became even more unsightly. A thought flashed through his mind, and he said, My Honor, I heard that you came out from the seal on Lightning Dragon Island. Did you know that I was the one who opened the seal on Lightning Dragon Island back then? For you to be able to escape, you should thank me. In the unseen world, you and I have some fate. So? You want me to let you go? His Honor looked at Lin Feng mockingly. Hee, that's right. Can you let me go? Lin Feng grinned and asked. How about I send you to a good place? His Honor laughed mischievously. Where? Lin Feng asked. The 18 levels of hell. His Honor's mouth revealed a trace of cold killing intent, and he sent a palm towards Lin Feng. Whoosh! Lin Feng took out his Dao platform and dodged His Honor's attack by a hair's breadth. Once again, he teleported 300 li away. However, he was still unable to escape from His Honor. His Honor chased after him once again. Lin Feng had a total of 8 Dao platforms on him. He activated all 8 Dao platforms. However, he was still unable to escape from His Honor. This time, Lin Feng did not even have any Dao platforms left. Although his speed was very fast, His Honor was even faster. The current situation was truly despairing. Lin Feng could not think of any way to fight against His Honor. His Honor sent a palm towards Lin Feng. When Lin Feng sensed that terrifying punch, his face turned pale with fright. He wanted to dodge, but he discovered that he was unable to dodge that terrifying palm. Heaven Mending Technique. At the moment of crisis, Lin Feng used Heaven Mending Technique and dodged that sure-kill attack. He escaped by a hair's breadth. Heaven Mending Technique, this divine ability is rather interesting. His Honor looked towards Lin Feng in astonishment. However, soon after, he sneered. However, you can only use this Heaven Mending Technique once. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. It was indeed like what His Honor said, he could only use Heaven Mending Technique once. Lin Feng took out his 5-dragon wheel. He wanted to activate his 5-dragon wheel and fight His Honor to the death. Broken immortal equipment, there are quite a few good things. His Honor's expression was indifferent as he looked towards Lin Feng. Bang! Lin Feng was immediately sent flying, and his 5-dragon wheel flew out of his hand. Facing such a terrifying existence like His Honor, Lin Feng did not even have the chance to activate his 5-dragon wheel. This was because His Honor was simply too terrifying. Do you know what it means to live a life worse than death? His Honor's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. He flicked his finger. Sword Chi moved towards Lin Feng at full speed. Puff! Along with the sound of tearing, a series of tearing sounds could be heard. Numerous wounds could be seen on Lin Feng's body. His entire body was dripping with blood. Death by 1,000 cuts, nothing could be compared to this. Grandson, kill me if you have the guts! Lin Feng clenched his teeth and looked towards His Honor. You want to die? I can fulfill your wish. His Honor laughed sinisterly, then raised his right hand and was about to send a palm towards Lin Feng. Cough, cough, cough. Right at this moment, a coughing sound could be heard from afar. Chapter 2287. This sudden cough startled Lin Feng and His Honor. The two of them turned their heads to look. They saw an old man carrying a turtle shell on his back walking over from afar. Master! When Lin Feng saw this old man, he was so excited that he nearly cried. It was actually my cheap master, Master Tortoise. But soon, Lin Feng started to worry for Master Tortoise. He had never seen Master Tortoise fight before. Lin Feng was very clear about how powerful His Honor was. Master Tortoise appeared here at this time. Is he a match for His Honor? If he isn't a match for His Honor, he might even lose his life here. Brat, why are you running around all day? Isn't it good to stay in the sect? If you have nothing to do, you can talk about love with those beautiful female disciples in the sect. This is what a carefree and happy life is like. Master Tortoise scolded. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. What kind of situation is this? This cheap master of mine is actually still able to say such nonsense. However, this seems to be Master Tortoise's personality, and it will never change. After hearing Master Tortoise's words, His Honor couldn't help but sneer. He narrowed his eyes and looked at Master Tortoise, then said, "Who are you? My good disciple, introduce your master to him." Master Tortoise said. Lin Feng first operated his immortal body to heal his injuries, then said, "My master is the famous Master Tortoise of the 9 prefectures. Now you know my master's identity, right? Now you know fear, right? If you know, then hurry up and leave." His Honor directly ignored Lin Feng and looked at Master Tortoise. "So, you are that Master Tortoise? I heard that you are one of the oldest experts in the 9 prefectures?" His Honor said. Master Tortoise revealed a complacent expression and said, "You have also heard of my name? Since you know how powerful I am, then hurry up and scram. I was just about to experience your divine ability, and see how strong the cultivation of the most ancient expert in the 9 prefectures is," Lord Tortoise said. "As a senior expert, I won't easily make a move. Before Lord Tortoise changes his mind, you'd better leave quickly. If you leave too late, only death will await you." His Honor sneered and said, "Only death awaits me? I want to see who will die in whose hands today." Right after Yishuwen finished speaking, a frightening fluctuation was emitted out from His Honor's body. Bang! Lin Feng was unable to withstand the aura emitted from the body of the Supreme Being and was sent flying. Wow! He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face was filled with horror. Isn't His Honor's cultivation a little too terrifying? It was just an aura, but it was enough to make him spit out blood. Just what realm is this guy at? Lin Feng looked at Lord Tortoise worriedly. Would my unscrupulous master be able to defeat His Honor? Lin Feng really didn't have any confidence at all. "I can't even remember the last time I fought," Lord Tortoise said indifferently. At this moment, Lin Feng suddenly realized that Lord Tortoise had changed. Previously, Lord Tortoise had a frivolous appearance. However, the current Lord Tortoise actually gave Lin Feng a sacred and dignified feeling. "Then, did you think that after so many years, this would be the last time you fight?" His Honor looked at Lord Tortoise with an indifferent expression. He didn't put Lord Tortoise in his eyes at all, and his words were filled with contempt and ridicule. Lord Tortoise said indifferently, "Is that so? Then, let's see if you have the ability to do so. Chaotic Eternity!" His Honor made his move and executed an extremely heaven-defying divine ability. This move, Uproar of Eternity. Endless demonic light surged out and blasted towards Lord Tortoise. The void collapsed. Heaven and earth shattered. Lin Feng was so far away, but when he sensed the chi of that attack, Lin Feng had the impression he was going to lose all hope. It was hard to imagine. Just how terrifying was this attack? Lin Feng felt that he was about to suffocate. He looked towards Lord Tortoise, wondering if Lord Tortoise would be able to withstand His Honor's terrifying attack. What made Lin Feng astonished was, facing His Honor's peerless attack, Lord Tortoise's body became illusory. That terrifying attack of His Honor penetrated through Lord Tortoise's body, which had turned illusory, and exploded in midair. In the end, Lord Tortoise's body automatically dissipated. "What kind of technique is this?" Lin Feng was astonished. Lord Tortoise's technique had truly shocked him. After all these years of taking Lord Tortoise as his master, Lord Tortoise taught Lin Feng the 8-9 mysterious art, and didn't teach any other divine ability to Lin Feng. However, it was clear that Lord Tortoise indeed had some powerful techniques. After dodging His Honor's attack, Lord Tortoise's body became more and more real. Lord Tortoise could be seen walking towards His Honor step by step. With an indifferent expression, Lord Tortoise said, "Now, it's my turn to attack." "Humph!" His Honor snorted coldly, and a mass of demonic mist appeared in his right hand. Within the demonic mist, an ancient demonic artifact floated. Ancient demonic artifact! After seeing that ancient demonic artifact, Lin Feng couldn't help but cry out in alarm. That ancient demonic artifact looked like a pitch-black jade-type artifact. Although the ancient demonic artifact didn't deliberately emit its own aura, it was still so terrifying that it made one's heart tremble. Swish! A light flashed. The power of that ancient demonic artifact began to recover. I have an ancient demonic artifact. What do you have to fight against me? Endless killing intent burst out from his Honor's eyes. That ancient demonic artifact quickly became bigger and bigger, and was held in his Honor's hand. At that moment, it was as if his Honor and the ancient demonic artifact had become one. The demonic might that was emitted from the ancient demonic artifact made Lin Feng's soul tremble. His Honor was already powerful enough, and now that he had used an ancient demonic artifact, Lin Feng didn't dare to guess how powerful his Honor's attack would be. Go to hell! His Honor laughed sinisterly. Holding on to the ancient demonic artifact, his Honor charged towards Master Tortoise. Roar! That ancient demonic artifact vaguely turned into an evil dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Facing his Honor's attack, Master Tortoise made his move. Master Tortoise could be seen raising his right hand and lightly chopping through the air. Buzz! A ray of holy light slashed out. Clang! That ray of holy light collided with the ancient demonic artifact in his Honor's hand, and a sonorous sound of collision rang out. Immediately after, the ancient demonic artifact in his Honor's hand was actually sent flying. After receiving this attack, the ancient demonic artifact, which was originally filled with boundless demonic might, instantly dimmed down. Even the demonic might was scattered. After sending his Honor's ancient demonic artifact flying, the ray of holy light condensed by Master Tortoise didn't dissipate. Instead, it continued to charge towards his Honor. His Honor retreated in horror, wanting to dodge this attack. However, he discovered that no matter how he tried to dodge, he was unable to dodge this attack. Pooh! The ray of holy light directly split his Honor into two. Someone as powerful as his Honor was insta-killed by Master Tortoise. Chapter 2288. Dead? His Honor is actually dead! Lin Feng muttered to himself. His face was filled with disbelief. His Honor, it was unknown just how terrifying this existence's strength was, but it actually died just like that. Lin Feng felt as if he was in a dream. A person like his Honor should be a peerless expert that could stir up a storm and dominate a region. But now, he actually ended up like this. This fellow's luck was really bad. Life is really as lonely as snow, Lord Tortoise said faintly. His expression was that of a lonely expert. After Lin Feng regained his senses, he quickly flew towards the ancient demon treasure. This was an incredible utmost treasure. If he could get his hands on it, that would be way too awesome. It's mine! Don't snatch it! Lord Tortoise's figure flashed and arrived in front of the ancient demon treasure. He directly grabbed the ancient demon treasure and swept Lin Feng away with his right hand. As for Lin Feng, he pounced towards his Honor's corpse that fell into the sea. He saw that there was a storage ring on his Honor's hand. His Honor definitely had a lot of treasures on him. Furthermore, he even had an ancient killing weapon. This is also mine! Lord Tortoise rushed over and collected his Honor's corpse along with the storage ring. Master, don't go overboard. I don't want any other treasures. I only want that ancient killing weapon! Lin Feng shouted. If you can catch me, Master will give it to you, Lord Tortoise said with a smile. Then, he walked towards the distance. Lin Feng chased after Lord Tortoise. However, after chasing for 10 days and 10 nights, he was still unable to catch up with Lord Tortoise even though he could already see the Arctic ice field. F***ck, Master, are you really a tortoise? Didn't you say that tortoises are very slow? Lin Feng shouted. He wanted to cry but had no tears. Lord Tortoise scolded. Little bastard, how many times have I told you? Your master is also a sacred beast, Black Tortoise. The most ancient sacred beast, not some tortoise. Don't Black Tortoise and Tortoise look the same? Lin Feng muttered. Are you blind? Lord Tortoise scolded. Whoosh! Immediately after, Lord Turtle left the dust in the dust and disappeared without a trace. His speed was so fast that even Lin Feng couldn't help but be speechless. "Are you toying with me these days? What a heartless master!" Lin Feng laughed bitterly and helplessly before finding a place to rest. "What is the cultivation level of this cheap master of mine?" Lin Feng muttered. In fact, Lin Feng knew that the Demon Lord knew a little about Master Tortoise. However, the Demon Lord never told Lin Feng anything about Lord Tortoise, so Lin Feng was too lazy to ask the Demon Lord. Even if he asked, the Demon Lord might not tell him. Given the Yao Lord's personality, if there were some things that could be said, the Yao Lord would not hide anything from him. After resting for a while, Lin Feng went to look for the Snake Queen and the others. He quickly found the Snake Queen and the others. The Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army moved out in time and set up camp in the Arctic tundra. Seeing that Lin Feng had returned, the Snake Queen was very happy. Lin Feng said, "Everyone, I have good news. His Honor and Murong Baiming are dead. Now, we should immediately return to the Netherworld Sea. Right now, the major forces are still unclear about the situation in the Netherworld Sea. This is the best time for us to expand our territory." "What? His Honor and Murong Baiming are both dead? Heavens, this can't be real, right? This is too unbelievable. No matter how I listen to it, it doesn't sound real." After hearing the news, the Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army immediately started discussing. If only Murong Baiming had died, everyone would not be so shocked. After all, although Murong Baiming was strong, it was not impossible to kill him. However, his honor was also dead. This was too hard to believe. What kind of person is his honor? He was a terrifying expert who wielded an ancient demonic artifact. He was an existence who had almost killed the expert sealed in the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom Stone. He was an existence who had single-handedly destroyed almost all of the top experts in the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk Empire. In many people's eyes, his honor was an existence that no one could fight against. Even an expert like the Red World Fairy might not be a match for his honor. But now, his honor was actually dead. "Everyone! I saw his honor being killed with my own eyes, so there is no doubt about this. As for Murong Baiming, I killed him personally," Lin Feng shouted loudly. Everyone's spirits were lifted. Naturally, there was no need for a big shot like Lin Feng to lie about this. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Feng with a strange expression. First, everyone was shocked because Lin Feng killed Murong Baiming. Second, everyone guessed that the expert who killed his honor was related to Lin Feng. Could it be Master Tortoise? Many people couldn't help but guess because everyone knew that Lin Feng's master was the famous Master Tortoise. Although Master Tortoise's reputation wasn't very good. But after all, he had lived for so long. Maybe he really could kill his honor. But no matter who killed his honor was now dead. Everyone was excited because they felt that following someone like Lin Feng would definitely lead to a bright future. Now, everyone was sincerely convinced by Lin Feng. "Kill! Kill!" The Dragon Gate Island's cultivator army suddenly roared, their voices shaking the sky. Lin Feng took out the glass bottle containing the ancient war ships and released them one by one. Then, the Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army all boarded the ancient war ships. Under the leadership of the ancient starship Xianyuan, they once again returned to the Netherworld Sea. The fleet went straight in the direction of the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom because the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom was originally the center of the Netherworld Sea. After the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom was destroyed, it changed its name to the Devil Horde Nation and became the headquarters of the Devil Horde Island. If they could occupy the territory that originally belonged to the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom, Lin Feng's force would become the dominant force in the Netherworld Sea. More than 60% of the resources and all kinds of businesses would belong to Lin Feng. When the time came, countless experts would come to join him. This would be the second super force that Lin Feng established in the 9 prefectures. Halfway through the journey, Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint returned. The two of them talked about their previous encounter. They had each been chased by a clone, But at the most dangerous moment, the two clones suddenly disappeared. Only then did they manage to survive. Lin Feng said, "That should be when His Honor was killed. How did His Honor die?" Du Zhu asked curiously. Lin Feng didn't tell the Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army how His Honor died because Lin Feng wanted to maintain a sense of mystery. Naturally, he didn't hide anything from Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint. He said, "My master killed His Honor." Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint's eyes widened. They couldn't help but exclaim, "It can't be, right? Lord Tortoise, that unreliable old man? He killed His Honor?" Lin Feng smiled bitterly and nodded. "It was indeed him. He killed His Honor with a single move." Chapter 2289. Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint were shocked when they heard Lin Feng's answer. Lord Tortoise's strength was beyond their expectations. "Young master, where did your master come from? It's really inconceivable that such an unreliable fellow would actually have such formidable strength." Poison Ancestor smacked his lips as he spoke. Back then, when Du Zhu was at his peak, he was also a half-emperor expert. However, a half-emperor expert was probably like an ant in front of Lord Tortoise, not worth mentioning at all. Lin Feng said with a bitter smile, "I don't know either. The only thing I know about this cheap master is that he has lived for a long time. It is said that those who were in the same generation as him are all dead." The heretic sovereign saint said, "The turtle race has a long lifespan. The black tortoise is a saint beast and has the characteristics of a turtle. Therefore, it has an even longer lifespan." Lin Feng said, "That's right. I don't know how long this cheap master of mine has lived." The three of them talked about Lord Tortoise for a while. However, their knowledge of Lord Tortoise was limited. Thus, after chatting for a while, they stopped talking about this topic. Next, they mainly talked about the Netherworld Sea. Right now, His Honor and Murong Baiming had already fallen. Presumably, the people of Devil Isle already knew about it. Although Devil Isle had a lot of people, their island master and their backer, His Honor, were dead. Devil Isle would definitely become a pile of loose sand. There was nothing to fear. Lin Feng guessed that Devil Isle's cultivator army would probably kill each other in order to fight for territory. After all, after His Honor and Murong Baiming died, the higher-ups of Devil Isle would definitely not submit to anyone. They would definitely declare themselves as kings and fight for territory. The situation of internal strife was already unchangeable. And at this time, it was time for Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army to show off their might. The Netherworld Sea was such a big territory, Thunder Dragon Island naturally could not take it all. They had to be particular about which territory to take. The original territory of Netherworld Sea God Nation was definitely going to be taken. As for the other territories, which to take and which to let other forces fight for, they needed to carefully consider. 3 days later, the fleet arrived at the Dark Ocean ancient capital. After arriving at this place, there was a fierce battle going on in the Dark Sea ancient capital. It was a mess inside. More than 10 upper echelons of the Devil Islands wanted to occupy the Dark Sea ancient capital. These people also knew the importance of the Dark Sea ancient capital. The Dark Sea ancient capital was the imperial capital of the Dark Sea Divine Kingdom. It was also the economic center of the entire Netherworld Sea. Occupying this place was equivalent to controlling the Sea of Oblivion. Therefore, none of these people were willing to give in to each other. In the end, they started fighting. At this time, Lin Feng led the army over and joined the chaotic battle. The morale of the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island was at its peak. Under Lin Feng's leadership, they were simply invincible. As for the dozen or so cultivator armies that had been fighting each other, they were completely routed. Part of the cultivator army was killed, part of the cultivator army fled, and part of the cultivator army chose to surrender. There were about 800,000 cultivators who surrendered, and Lin Feng divided them into various army groups. The cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island had also increased to about 2-3 million. It could be said that their power had increased greatly. In the next half a month, The cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island occupied many important territories in the Netherworld Sea. Countless experts in the surrounding waters of the Netherworld Sea heard that His Honor and Murung Biming had died in the hands of the big shot behind the scenes of the Thunder Dragon Island. Many people came to join the Thunder Dragon Island. More than a dozen giant God Realm experts came. Heavenly God Realm and True God Realm cultivators came in an endless stream to join the Thunder Dragon Island. The power of the Thunder Dragon Island increased greatly. Not long after, the cultivator army reached 4 million people. Many top forces of the 9 prefectures also began to intervene in the affairs of the Netherworld Sea, plundering the various resources of the Netherworld Sea. Lin Feng changed the name of the Dark Sea Divine Kingdom to the Heavenly Snake Empire. The Snake Empress became the Empress of the Heavenly Snake Empire. However, everyone knew that the Snake Empress was only a figure pushed to the surface. The big shot behind the Heavenly Snake Empire did not appear. Everyone was guessing who was behind the Heavenly Snake Empire. There was news that His Honor was most likely killed by Lord Tortoise, and this matter caused a huge wave. Was this unreliable Lord Tortoise so powerful? Many people were muttering. Of course, many people were dismissive of this rumor. However, there was one thing that everyone recognized. That was the big shot behind the Heavenly Snake Empire. It was an existence that absolutely could not be provoked. Therefore, although many people were very envious of the territory and resources that the Heavenly Snake Empire occupied in the Netherworld Sea, however, they did not dare to make a move against the Heavenly Snake Empire. Lin Feng was very satisfied with the Heavenly Snake Empire's situation. Now that the Heavenly Snake Empire was getting stronger day by day, Lin Feng could finally breathe a sigh of relief. It might be hard for people to believe that the Heavenly Snake Empire was actually founded by a young cultivator. The most shocking thing was that the young cultivator had not only founded the Heavenly Snake Empire, he had also founded the Dragon Sect. One had to know that the Dragon Sect was even more powerful. Now, there were already about 50 giant God Realm experts in the Dragon Sect. The cultivator army had reached 15 million people. They could even compete with some ancient immortal sects. The matters of the Netherworld Sea had finally come to an end for the time being. Lin Feng planned to prepare for the Prodigy battle. The re-ranking of the Prodigy roll that happened once every 800 years would be held in less than a year. Lin Feng was naturally quite interested in the ranking of the Prodigy roll this time. He wanted to see what level the top prodigies of the 9 states were at. Of course, the thing that attracted Lin Feng the most was that the prodigies who entered the Prodigy roll could enter the 9 states immortal realm to search for opportunities. The 9 states immortal realm was considered one of the most mysterious immortal realms. The legend of immortal ascension, the door of eternal life, the heaven-shaking stone tablet, the Great Destiny Technique, the Great Destiny Technique, the 9 great ancient artifacts, and so on. Many things were inextricably linked to the 9 states immortal realm. It was said that the higher ones ranking on the Prodigy roll, the more providence they would receive. After entering the 9 states immortal realm, the more providence they received, the more providence they received, the greater the opportunity they received. This was also the reason why so many people tried their best to rank higher on the Prodigy roll. Because every time they moved one place forward, the amount of karmic luck he obtained was different. The opportunities they received after entering the 9 states immortal realm were also different. Since Lin Feng wanted to participate in the ranking of the Prodigy roll this time, he naturally aimed for the first place. Lin Feng, let us out. We want to negotiate with you. As long as you let us out, we can negotiate any conditions. That night, Su Miaoqing and Shui Qianwu's voices sounded from the 4 ferocious cauldrons. Chapter 2290. Su Miaoqing and Shui Qianwu were suppressed in the 4 ferocious cauldrons. Lin Feng had not done anything to them previously because of various matters. Now, he had some free time. Hearing the voices of the 2 girls, Lin Feng said indifferently, I don't accept negotiations. I'll give you 2 options. The first option is to willingly become my maidservants. The second option is to become my female slaves. Lin Feng, don't go overboard. Su Miaoqing gnashed her teeth. Su Miaoqing couldn't help but gnash her teeth. Becoming Lin Feng's servant was worse than killing her. Lin Feng said, "My sweetheart Miaoqing, you're just a prisoner now. You're no longer the goddess of heaven. Do you really think you're still the goddess in the hearts of countless people? I'll give you some time to think carefully about your choice." Then, Lin Feng cut off the connection with Su Miaoqing and Shui Qianwu. Lin Feng could convert the two girls at any time. However, Lin Feng did not do so now because he felt that it would be meaningless if he directly converted the two girls. After all, once they were converted, they would listen to whatever Lin Feng said and did. What was the point then? Lin Feng liked them to have their own thoughts. He didn't want them to become zombies. The next day, someone came to visit Lin Feng. He said that it was an old friend who came to visit and had a letter for Lin Feng. This made Lin Feng very surprised. Lin Feng asked the maidservant to bring the visiting cultivator in. Lin Feng found that it was a very young cultivator, but he did not recognize this young cultivator in front of him. When the cultivator saw Lin Feng, he quickly bowed to Lin Feng with a look of fear and trepidation. Although he did not know Lin Feng, when he saw that Lin Feng lived in the imperial city of the Heavenly Snake Empire and had a high status, he knew that Lin Feng was definitely a powerful figure. Lin Feng looked at the young cultivator and said, "Are you here to deliver a letter?" "Yes." "Young master, the letter is here." The young cultivator handed a letter to Lin Feng. Lin Feng opened the letter and saw the handsome boy written on it. "It has been many years since we last met. Do you still remember the uninhabited ancient country in the deep sea?" This was the only sentence on the letter. There was nothing else. "Angel." Lin Feng was surprised. When he first came to the 9 states, he had explored the ancient country in the deep sea with Angel. Angel was beautiful, kind, and innocent. So many years had passed, but Lin Feng had never forgotten. "Where is she?" asked Lin Feng. Asked. "On Plum Island, 3,000 miles to the northwest of the Heavenly Snake Empire," said the young cultivator. Lin Feng nodded and rewarded the young cultivator with some origin crystals before letting him leave. Lin Feng decided to go to Plum Island to see Angel. He had not seen Angel for many years, and he missed her a lot. This time, Lin Feng set off alone and soon arrived at Plum Island. Plum blossoms bloomed all over the island. It was very beautiful. Lin Feng entered Plum Island and walked through the plum forest. Soon, he saw a beautiful figure. A perfect figure. Long, light blue hair. Beautiful eyes as blue as the Mediterranean Sea. A face so beautiful that it took one's breath away. Who else could it be other than Angel? "Big brother Lin, long time no see." Angel smiled beautifully when she saw Lin Feng. Lin Feng walked over and smiled. "I didn't expect you to send me a letter. Some time ago, something happened in the dark sea. Later, I heard from the beasts in the sea that the Heavenly Snake Empire is related to Big Brother Lin, so I sent someone to send you a letter. I was waiting for Big Brother Lin here," said Angel. Angel was from the Mermaid clan. When he killed Murong Baiming and the Supreme One, no other cultivators saw it. However, it was inevitable that some of the beasts in the sea saw it. Lin Feng did not find it strange that Angel could hear the beasts in the sea talking about it. Lin Feng said, "Actually, I've been wanting to contact you. A few years ago, I saved a little mermaid. That little mermaid seems to be a lost member of your mermaid clan. I was planning to let you two get in touch and have a good chat." "Oh? Little mermaid? Do you know where she is now?" asked Angel curiously. Lin Feng said, "She's with the princess of the Deep Sea Demon Kingdom now," said Angel. "When the time comes, we can get in touch with the mermaid clan. If she wants to return to the clan, that's even better. If she doesn't want to return to the clan, she can live outside, but she must ensure her safety." Lin Feng said, "You don't have to worry about her safety. As for whether she wants to return to the mermaid clan, I'll ask her in detail the next time I see her." "Okay." Angel nodded. After Lin Feng and Angel met for a short while, Angel returned to the mermaid clan, while Lin Feng returned to the Heavenly Snake Empire. Now that the matter in the Dark Sea had come to an end, There was less than a year left until the Prodigy Roll battle. Therefore, Lin Feng planned to return to the Reincarnation Immortal sect and cultivate in seclusion for a while. Then, he would participate in the Prodigy Roll battle with the disciples of the sect. This time, the Prodigy Roll battle would be extremely lively. All kinds of powerful existences would be present. The attraction of the Nine States celestial realm was incomparably huge. No one could resist the attraction of the Nine States celestial realm. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil sovereign holy sage returned to the Reincarnation Immortal sect. "Oh, my good disciple is back. Recently, you have established the Heavenly Snake Empire. Most of the territories in the Dark Sea have been seized by you. You must have obtained a lot of treasures. Hurry up and take out some treasures to be filial to your master." When Master Tortoise saw Lin Feng return, he suddenly grinned. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. He was speechless and said, "Master, you have the nerve to say this. I feel ashamed for you. Don't other masters pass down powerful treasures to their disciples? You have an ancient demon weapon and an ancient killing weapon. I don't want the ancient demon weapon anymore. At the very least, you should pass the broken ancient killing weapon to me, right? It would be good for me to protect myself." Master Tortoise patted Lin Feng's shoulder and said earnestly, "My good disciple, your words make me very sad. I didn't give you the ancient killing weapon because I was afraid of harming you." Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "Master, if you don't give it to me, you will be harming me." Master Tortoise said, "Boy, what do you know? With your little cultivation, you can't control the ancient killing weapon. If you carry it with you, you will be controlled by the ancient killing weapon. Therefore, I can't give you such a treasure for the time being. But don't worry, when your cultivation increases in the future, not to mention the broken ancient killing weapon, even the intact ancient demon weapon will be passed down to you." "Really?" Lin Feng looked at Master Tortoise with a doubtful look. "Of course it's true." Master Tortoise grinned and said, "Master is so good to you, so you must be filial to him. Hurry up and hand over your storage ring so that he can choose some treasures." The corner of Lin Feng's mouth twitched violently. This old swindler had said so many good words just now, but he had painted a big pie for him that he could not eat. It turned out that his main purpose was to obtain the treasures on his body. Lin Feng said, "Master, I am so poor that I don't even have any cultivation source stones. How can I have any treasures? Master's wish to obtain treasures from me has failed. I don't believe you. Let me see your storage ring." Master Tortoise rushed towards Lin Feng. Chapter 2291. Seeing Master Tortoise pounce on him, Lin Feng turned around and ran. Master Tortoise shouted, "Brat, where do you think you're going?" Master Tortoise quickly chased after Lin Feng. Along the way, he happened to see Xia Shiyun carrying little Meng Meng back. Big brother, hug!" Little Meng Meng was very happy to see Lin Feng. She had been thinking about Lin Feng all this time. She quickly opened her arms and let Lin Feng hug her. Lin Feng hugged little Meng Meng. Master Tortoise, who originally wanted to snatch Lin Feng's treasures, immediately revealed a smile when he saw little Meng Meng. "Grandmaster, little Meng Meng saw you chasing Big Brother. Did Big Brother do something wrong?" Little Meng Meng asked innocently. Master Tortoise always paid attention to his image in front of little Meng Meng. He smiled and said, "I was playing hide and seek with your Big Brother Feng." "Ah, hide and seek. Little Meng Meng wants to play too," Little Meng Meng said happily. Master Tortoise said, "Let's play hide and seek later. Right now, let's have your Big Brother Feng cook a big meal. Let's eat first." Little Meng Meng's eyes lit up when she heard the word big meal. Then, she looked at Lin Feng eagerly. She was about to drool. "Big Brother, little Meng Meng wants to eat a lot of good food," Little Meng Meng said. Lin Feng smiled and said, "Of course, no problem. Big Brother will definitely cook a lot of good food for little Meng Meng later," Lin Feng said as he rubbed little Meng Meng's head dotingly. "That's great. There's a lot of good food to eat. Little Meng Meng smiled happily. Master Tortoise finally stopped trying to snatch Lin Feng's treasures. At night, Lin Feng cooked a big meal. Xia Shiyun also stayed behind. After eating, little Meng Meng fell asleep. Lin Feng sent Xia Shiyun back. He held Xia Shiyun's lily-white hand. Xia Shiyun's pretty face suddenly turned crimson. She gently struggled and said, "Don't be like this. It's not good to be seen by others." Lin Feng said, "What are you afraid of? So what if they saw it? Unmarried man and unmarried woman. If others see me holding your hand, they will be envious." Xia Shiyun snorted twice and stopped struggling. She let Lin Feng grab her hand. The next day, Lin Feng heard that Shui Linglong had come out of seclusion, so he went to pay a visit to this senior sister Linglong. Shui Linglong's clothes were as white as snow. She was as beautiful as ever. Moreover, Shui Linglong's body now had a faintly discernible immortal aura. This feeling was very strange, and it shocked Lin Feng. In this period of time, this mysterious senior sister Shui Linglong must have made great progress. Back then, I vaguely sensed several evil powers on junior brother's body. However, I was unable to determine what those powers were. Now, the evil powers on junior brother's body are even stronger. Those evil powers should be curse powers, right? Shui Linglong looked at Lin Feng. She did not hide anything from Lin Feng. Daring to mention the curses on Lin Feng's body was a huge risk. Because the Tao of curses was too strange, casually mentioning the curses on someone else's body might cause one to be implicated. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Yes, I have several curses on my body. Originally, there were 3 curses on my body: the Heavenly Master Path's curse, the Human Skin curse, and another curse that I do not know about. Later, another curse appeared, the curse from the Boat of Curses." Shui Linglong said, "The Tao of curses is the most strange. In the past, there were some experts who comprehended the Tao of fate, but they could not get rid of the Tao of curses. However, I can vaguely see that the 4 curses on your body are suppressing each other. Therefore, the 4 curses are now in a relatively balanced state. It is also because of this that the 4 curses have not erupted with their most terrifying power." Lin Feng stroked his chin. These curses did not come to find him all the time. Was it because the 4 curses were competing with each other? Was the winning side responsible for dealing with him? The more Lin Feng thought about it, the more likely it was. "Senior sister, do you have a way to deal with these curses?" Lin Feng asked. Shui Linglong was too mysterious. It was rumored that she was the reincarnation of an extremely ancient expert. Therefore, Shui Linglong said that she might have a way. Shui Linglong thought for a while and said, "In the past, I have seen some experts break their own curses, but I do not know how they did it. How about this? I will give your junior brother an item. At a critical moment, it may be able to change your destiny." Shui Linglong said and took out a stone. "This is?" Lin Feng looked at the stone in his hand and could not help but look at Shui Linglong with some doubts. This cyan stone looked ordinary. Lin Feng really could not find out what was so mysterious about this stone. Shui Linglong said, "This stone has the power of destiny integrated into it. I call it the Stone of Destiny. Many times, a person's destiny can be changed. Wear this stone on your body. If you encounter something that you cannot solve, crush this stone. The power of destiny inside will help you." Stone of Destiny! Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. This was a good thing. It could change one's destiny. This senior sister of his was getting more and more mysterious. Lin Feng had a kind of reverence for her. Lin Feng suddenly felt apprehensive. Previously, he still wanted to win the beauty's heart. But now, it seemed that the gap between him and this senior sister was getting bigger and bigger. However, Lin Feng was not discouraged. Although there was still a big gap between him and this senior sister, as his cultivation increased, he would be able to catch up with Shui Linglong sooner or later. Such a strange woman. He must not miss this opportunity. Of course, Lin Feng would definitely not say these words to Shui Linglong now. That would be overestimating himself. "I am going to leave," Shui Linglong said. Senior sister, are you going out to train? The 9 prefectures is so big. There are many places that you can visit to increase your knowledge, Lin Feng said. Shui Linglong smiled and did not say anything. Lin Feng was slightly stunned. Then, he understood the deep meaning in Shui Linglong's words. Shui Linglong was obviously not going to leave the sect. She probably wanted to leave the 9 prefectures. Senior sister, where are you going? The Undying World? Or other great worlds? Lin Feng asked. The Undying World was the only place where one could become an emperor among the 3,000 great worlds. Lin Feng thought. Shui Linglong was very likely to go to the Undying World like very Qin Shui. Shui Linglong said, The world is very big. I want to see everywhere. Maybe one day, I will go to the Undying World. Once senior sister leaves, I don't know when we will be able to meet again, Lin Feng said. Shui Linglong said, If fate allows, we will meet again sooner or later. Lin Feng nodded and said, When does senior sister plan to leave? In a few days, Shui Linglong said. I will send senior sister off at that time, Lin Feng said. Shui Linglong hesitated for a moment. She was used to being alone. However, Shui Linglong thought about it and nodded. Perhaps, before leaving, someone would send her off. It was also a good feeling. Chapter 2292. On a drizzling day, Lin Feng sent Shui Linglong off. This senior sister of his had a very special place in Lin Feng's heart. Now that Shui Linglong had left, he was filled with emotions. Everyone had their own life, their own pursuits, and their own Tao. The only thing we can do is to wish them a brighter future. Lin Feng returned to the sect, and old devil Mo sent someone to summon Lin Feng to the Reincarnation Valley. After arriving at the Reincarnation Valley, Lin Feng sensed the aura of the Reincarnation Everlasting Fire. This heavenly fire, rank 17th, made Lin Feng's heart pound. However, he did not have the ability to refine this heavenly fire. This was a treasure of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect, and it was sealed in the Reincarnation Pagoda by the Reincarnation Emperor. Old Devil Mo was one of the oldest experts in the 9 prefectures, and he was also a powerful alchemist. He had an extremely strange temperament. He and Lord Tortoise had been plotting something all these years. Back then, old Devil Mo had told Lin Feng something. Lord Tortoise had told him to cultivate the 8-9 arcane art. It was because he wanted Lin Feng to do something extremely important. And this matter seemed to require someone who had cultivated the 8-9 arcane art to do it. However, Lin Feng still did not know what this matter was. Old Devil Mo kept his mouth shut. Naturally, Lord Tortoise would not tell Lin Feng about this in advance. When Lin Feng arrived at Old Monster Mo's place, he was studying a mysterious reagent. Old Devil Mo stopped when he saw Lin Feng. He grinned and said, Kid, long time no see. Looks like you've improved a lot over the years. Lin Feng looked at Old Devil Mo warily. The last time he came, he was thrown into the 9 hells purgatory by Old Devil Mo. That was a fate worse than death. Lin Feng instinctively felt that Old Devil Mo did not have good intentions for calling him here. Therefore, Lin Feng asked straightforwardly, Senior, why have you summoned me? Eccentric Mo's smile grew even more brilliant as he said, Look at what you're saying. Can I call you over if there's nothing important? Lin Feng said, Of course. What this junior means is that if senior has something to say, you can tell this junior directly. Brat, your awareness is really high. No wonder you were able to cause so much trouble outside all these years. Old Monster Mo grinned as he said, Actually, I've called you here today because I have something to discuss with you. Lin Feng could not help but mutter to himself. Just as he had guessed, there must be a reason why Old Monster Mo was looking for him. If there's nothing else, this guy won't think of me. Lin Feng asked. What is it? You should know about our Reincarnation Immortal Sect's Reincarnation Everlasting Fire, right? Upon hearing Old Monster Mo mention the endless reincarnation flame, Lin Feng's mind jolted. Lin Feng was all too familiar with the endless reincarnation flame. Ever since he found out about the reincarnation, immortal sex reincarnation, everlasting fire, he had been searching for it. In fact, he had even searched for information regarding the endless reincarnation flame. Lin Feng had been keeping an eye on the endless reincarnation flame. If he had the chance to refine it, Lin Feng would not care if it was the reincarnation immortal sex ultimate treasure. He would refine it without hesitation. However, Lin Feng had never had the chance to come into contact with the endless reincarnation flame, let alone refine it. Lin Feng said, "I've heard of the endless reincarnation flame before. Is it suppressed on the 7th floor of the reincarnation pagoda?" Old Monster Mo narrowed his eyes as he looked at Lin Feng and said, "Brat, you seem to know quite a lot about the endless reincarnation flame. Could it be that you have designs on it?" Old Monster Mo was guarding the reincarnation pagoda. Lin Feng guessed that Old Monster Mo was most likely guarding the endless reincarnation flame. Naturally, Lin Feng would not admit to spying on the endless reincarnation flame in front of Old Monster Mo. If he were to admit it, who knew how Old Monster Mo would react? Lin Feng said, "This junior does not dare to spy on the endless reincarnation flame. Moreover, it is such a high-ranked heavenly flame. This junior can't refine it even if he wanted to. Moreover, this junior knows about the endless reincarnation flame, so there's nothing to be surprised about, right? There are many people in the sect who know about the endless reincarnation flame, alright?" Old Monster Mo stared deeply at Lin Feng and did not continue to dwell on the matter. He said, "This old man knows that you have several types of heavenly flames. Now, this old man wants to borrow your heavenly flames to suppress the endless reincarnation flame. After that, this old man will enter the 7th floor where the endless reincarnation flame is suppressed to retrieve an item." "Retrieve an item? What item?" Lin Feng looked at Old Monster Mo curiously. If Old Monster Mo was willing to take the risk to enter the 7th floor where the endless reincarnation flame was suppressed, then the item must be extraordinary. However, Old Monster Mo clearly had no intention of telling Lin Feng anything. He said, "Don't ask what you shouldn't ask." Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. Is this the attitude of someone who is asking for a favor? Who said that this old man is asking for a favor? Old Monster Mo cackled a few times before continuing. "Regardless of whether you want to do it or not, you can't escape today," Lin Feng said. "So you're forcing me to do something, right?" "That's right." Old Monster Mo waved his right hand, and the door to the 1st floor of the reincarnation pagoda closed. Lin Feng was speechless. "There's no need for this, right? Isn't it just helping seniors suppress the endless reincarnation flame? It's not a big deal. This junior will do as you say. I closed the door to prevent anyone from disturbing us. Come with me. Let's go take a look at the 7th floor." Old Monster Mo grabbed Lin Feng, and the two of them vanished. A moment later, they arrived in a forest. The 7th floor of the reincarnation pagoda is actually a mountain and river? Lin Feng was astonished. Old Monster Mo said, "What's there to be surprised about? A treasure of this level already contains the power of a world. What's so strange about it forming a mountain and river?" Lin Feng nodded and followed behind Old Monster Mo. At that moment, the demon's voice entered Lin Feng's mind. "This Old Monster Mo is not human." "Not human?" Lin Feng was astonished. The demon lord would not be mistaken. If Old Monster Mo was not human, could he be the reincarnation pagoda's artifact spirit? Lin Feng suddenly recalled how Old Monster Mo had instantly teleported him from the 1st floor to the 7th floor. It was as though he had teleported. This was a treasure forged by the Reincarnation Emperor. The Reincarnation Emperor had no problem teleporting through the Reincarnation Pagoda, but Old Monster Mo should not have been able to do it so easily. Of course, if Old Monster Mo was the Reincarnation Pagoda's artifact spirit, then it would be a different story. This Old Monster Mo has hidden himself quite well. He has probably transformed into a powerful artifact cultivator, right? However, I wonder if he has transformed into a god. Lin Feng could not help but ponder. Chapter 2293. Lin Feng followed Old Monster Mo into the depths of the sea. He asked, "Where's the place where the endless reincarnation flame is suppressed?" Old Monster Mo replied, "It's in the reincarnation sea of flames." The reincarnation sea of flames was originally a sea of extreme cold, and it contains the laws of extreme cold. Later, the reincarnation emperor moved it into the reincarnation pagoda to suppress the endless reincarnation flame. Lin Feng said, "The endless reincarnation flame was ranked 17th in the past. Suppressing it must have been extremely difficult, right?" "Of course it's extremely difficult. Back then, the great emperor of reincarnation didn't extinguish the fire of reincarnation." Mr. Mo started talking with assurance, but then he stopped and stared at Lin Feng. "Little boy, you want to make me tell you something, right? Don't even think about it. I won't fall for it so easily," Lin Feng said. "Look at what you're saying. I'm just casually chatting with you, and you're already so wary of me. It's really sad to see you like this." Old Monster Mo pursed his lips and said, "Forget it. How can a disciple taught by Lord Tortoise be anything good?" "I know that very well." Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes and say, "Look at what you're saying. Everyone loves me. Flowers bloom when they see me." Old Monster Mo said, "Lord Tortoise is thick-skinned, but you're even more thick-skinned than Lord Tortoise. I won't submit to anyone except you." Lin Feng and Old Monster Mo continued to mock each other along the way. An hour later, Lin Feng sensed that the temperature was getting lower and lower. Clearly, it was because they were gradually approaching the reincarnation sea of flames. The reincarnation sea of flames contained the powerful laws of extreme cold, and it was an extremely cold place. Another 4 hours passed, and Lin Feng finally arrived at the reincarnation sea of flames with Old Monster Mo looking into the distance. He could see a huge ocean. This ocean was a fiery red ocean. One could even vaguely see flames burning in the ocean, but what was shocking was that the temperature around the ocean was extremely low. Lin Feng shivered in fear. However, the temperature was so cold that it did not freeze. Heavenly flames were the hottest. The law of absolute frost was the coldest of all. Two completely opposite forces were working together to create this strange situation before his eyes. "Do you see that ball of fiery red light? That ball of fiery red light is the samsara everlasting fire that's being suppressed within it," Old Monster Mo said as he pointed to a gigantic ball of fiery red light in the depths of the samsara sea of flames. Lin Feng had already seen that fiery red ball of light. He frowned slightly and asked, "Is the reincarnation ever extinguishing fire spirit still alive?" Old Monster Mo replied, "Alive. That's why it's extremely dangerous. If the fire spirit of the endless fire cycle were to die, I wouldn't need your help." Lin Feng nodded and said, "All right, let's go take a look." Next, the two of them flew into the reincarnation sea of flames. They entered the sea. There was a huge ball of light in the sea. The ball of light was formed from the laws of absolute frost and countless monarch runes. "Huh! This is..." Suddenly, Lin Feng cried out in surprise. Among the many laws, he saw a law that stood out from the rest. The law was wrapped in immortal energy, and it contained an extremely terrifying and powerful immortal energy. Upon sensing the power of the law, Lin Feng's face was filled with shock. An immortal law! It was actually an immortal law! Isn't the Samsara Emperor a great emperor? How did he manage to grasp an immortal law? Lin Feng asked doubtfully. If you can grasp an emperor law with your cultivation, what's so strange about the Samsara Emperor grasping an immortal law? Old Devil Mo couldn't help but roll his eyes. Lin Feng smiled bitterly and nodded. It was indeed as Old Monster Mo had said. There was no lack of monstrous geniuses in this world. As for great emperors, they could no longer be described as monstrous geniuses. Great emperors. Their methods were so terrifying that others could not even begin to imagine them. 1. Suddenly, the sealed samsara everlasting fire seemed to have sensed something and emitted a shocking heatwave. Lin Feng felt as if a pair of eyes had opened within the samsara everlasting fire. The pair of eyes was currently staring at him. It was an extremely strange feeling, but it was also very intense. Lin Feng could not help but frown. Could it be that the fire spirit of the samsara everlasting fire has awakened? He could not help but mutter inwardly. However, when Lin Feng carefully tried to sense the gaze, he could not sense anything. Old Monster Mo looked at Lin Feng and said, "Let's begin. How should I deal with the samsara everlasting fire?" Lin Feng looked at Old Monster Mo in confusion. Old Eccentric Mo said, "Just send your heavenly flames into these laws. These laws will transfer your heavenly flames into the internal space. At that time, these laws will strengthen your heavenly flames and suppress the samsara incandescent flame." Without hesitation, Lin Feng brought out the 4 heavenly fires. The purple earthcore fire, the black blazing god incinerating fire, the netherworld hellfire, and the golden dragon divine flame flew out and poured into the dense array of laws. The laws that sealed the samsara everlasting fire were very intelligent and could differentiate between friend and foe. Therefore, the laws were extremely friendly towards Lin Feng's 4 heavenly fires. The 4 heavenly fires entered the internal space. Next, powerful laws surged into the internal space. All the power surged into the 4 heavenly fires, and the might of the 4 heavenly fires was unleashed. Then, the laws began to suppress the samsara everlasting fire. The samsara everlasting fire tried to resist, but under the combined suppression of the laws and the 4 heavenly fires, the samsara everlasting fire failed to resist. Old Monster Mo quickly entered the internal space. The internal space that sealed the samsara everlasting fire was extremely huge. Lin Feng did not enter. Instead, he waited outside quietly. What else is in this internal space apart from the samsara everlasting fire? Lin Feng could not help but mutter to himself. There are many things in this internal space. There are some mysterious immortal origin stones, immortal sources, and even blood, immortal scriptures, and so on. Kid, do you want them? Suddenly, a voice rang out in Lin Feng's mind. The voice was filled with temptation. "You're the fire spirit?" When he heard the voice, Lin Feng could not help but frown. The fire spirit continued, "That's right. I'm the fire spirit of the samsara everlasting fire. Kid, why don't we work together? As long as you find a way to release me, those treasures will be yours. If you can obtain those treasures, you'll definitely soar and become a peerless expert in the future. No one will be able to defeat you." Lin Feng remained unmoved. With an indifferent expression, he said, "Even if I can't obtain those treasures, I'll still become an amazing person.